So Rafael Nadal just about to come out on centre court to take on Lorenzo Sonego of Italy. We'll keep you up to date with how the 22-time Grand Slam winner is getting on over there. But we're going to keep you across everything that's happening all around the All England Club, but focusing for now on Court 1, where Nick Kyrgios is playing against Stefanos, Tsitsipas and Ian Carter, and Jeff Tarango are watching this one. Over to you two.
Thanks, Kat. Yes, well, you spend all day looking forward to a match, and there's always that little bit of danger that there might be a hint of anticlimax when it finally comes onto court. Not a bit of it so far. It's been a terrific start. No breaks of serve so far. 3 games all, but Tsitsipas has had to work considerably harder to hold his serves compared with Kyrgios, who completed a love game just a few moments ago by serving underarm between his legs to level it up at 3 games all. It's had a little bit of everything so far, and it's 15-30 on the Tsitsipas serve, and then the off forehand from Tsitsipas, and then he'll go into the forehand corner. Kyrgios is there, goes down the centre of the court, then the little drop shot, short ball for Tsitsipas to attack. He's at the net, and the attempted pass goes wide from the Australian. Jeff Tarango.
Well, good variety of shots there by both players. Tsitsipas was drawn to the net, but his approach shot was really good. Kyrgios couldn't get a hold of it. Tried the down the line, just missed. Very interesting how both players are willing to play a little bit defensive and see what the other guy's going to do.
30 all on the Tsitsipas serve, the 4th seed from Greece, 23 years of age, 9 titles to his name, and on a Wimbledon run for the first time in quite a few years as he serves into the backhand pocket of Kyrgios, who comes up with a winning return to set up break point.
30-40.
Well, that was just right where it wasn't supposed to be. If you're a pitcher in baseball, you see Kershaw throw that ball and he knows instantly the guy's going to knock it out of the park. That was the serve that was just right into the honey hole of Kyrgios, and boy, did he hit that backhand inside out well.
In the slot. So, for the 3rd time, a break point for the temperamental Australian Kyrgios, and he comes up with a short return, and Tsitsipas is straight in to the net, taking it on the bounce and unleashing an unstoppable forehand winner.
And what's interesting to me now, this is the 2nd time Kyrgios is on that side, and he's yelling at his own box, and he's telling them, say something different. You've been saying the same thing the whole tournament, and you're starting to bore me.
So deuce, and in all bar one of Tsitsipas's service games, he's been taken to deuce, but there's an ace down the centre from the Greek, right down the tee, and that takes him to advantage point. 3 games all, first set, absorbing first half hour here. The crowd are loving it, and a serve to the backhand, the return into the bottom of the net. And Tsitsipas, somewhat uncertainly, but he's getting there, nudges himself ahead once again against the 27-year-old Australian Nick Kyrgios. It's 4-3 to Tsitsipas, first set cap.
Thank you very much, Ian and Jeff. Change of ends, so we'll be back when play gets underway here on centre court. But first, let's get out to Edgbaston, shall we, and hear how England are getting on in the first test, the second day against India. And Ellie Oldroyd is there for us. And it's stopped raining, Ellie.
Yes, best weather of the day at the moment, Kat. 77 for 3, England, with Joe Root on 31 and Johnny Bairstow on 10. This is an absolutely key partnership for England between these two, who scored the bulk of the runs against New Zealand, of course, in the series that has just concluded. We're watching Mohamed Shami bustling in, hitting high up around the midriff for Joe Root, and a bit of an attempted appeal, but stifled in the end, and they're not going to review, I don't think. But yeah, 416 India made earlier on today. Jasprit Bumrah has taken 3 wickets. He also scored 31 off 16 balls in a mad period of time, and he's actually just reviewed that, but I think it probably would have been too high to be given out. We'll let you know if it is given out, but it was very much Jasprit Bumrah's day with the bat and now with the ball. England 77 for 3. We can play through until 7 o'clock tonight.
Let's hope the rain stays away. Ellie, thank you very much for now. We'll be back with you at Edgbaston over the course of the evening. But for now, on court 1, Nick Kyrgios is fiddling around with something right at the back of the court. And Ian Carter and Jeff Tarango are down in the commentary box there. Ian, I'm way up in the rafters, so I'm way above you, miles from the court itself, but the sound that these guys make when they're hitting the ball, they are absolutely belting it. It's so loud,
striking.
even up here. Yeah.
Yeah, the ball striking is just of the highest quality, and you know, we know it when we're covering the golf and you walk along the range and you suddenly hear the pros hitting the ball, and you know that it's not how it sounds when you're at your local golf club. A very similar experience here, and there's a crisp backhand cross-court winner from Kyrgios to get this service game underway.
And that wasn't a bad return by Tsitsipas either.
Kyrgios serves, Tsitsipas with the block return. Now the forehand from Kyrgios finds the backhand slice. Sits up for Kyrgios to attack with the forehand. Nice cross-court ball from Tsitsipas, forces the error. The Aussie goes long.
Now in the last round, Kyrgios played a stretch of the match where he went 17 points without losing a point on his serve. So he feels confident right now that he can be dominant.
Serving beautifully, and he comes up with a forehand winner there from mid-court. Just a tame return, just sits up very easily, and in that forehand slot, 30-15, winning these points very, very easily at the moment is Kyrgios. And an ace down the centre. He plays at such a rapid rate, and Tsitsipas has no answers down the other end. And if we're going to be having a break of serve, that one just missing, then you sense it will be against the Greek serve, because he struggled on serve in comparison. There is a very comfortable hold of serve. Kyrgios' serve unreturnable, the backhand into the net.
4 games all.
Well, he threw 2 130s and a 133 in that game. That's right, unreturnable on grass.
They've played each other 4 times before. Kyrgios has won 3 of those matches, including the round of 16 in Halle just a couple of weeks ago. And that was a good match. Went to the third set, won 6-4 by the Australian. This is their first meeting in a Grand Slam over 5 sets. And Tsitsipas with the first point on this game. Serving at the far end. Second serve is good. Backhand return is long. Cheap points are very valuable at the moment.
Yeah, and this is a part of the match where you wonder if his new coach, Mark Philippoussis, will have any influence. You know, great Greek player, finals in his own right.
Forehand return and a miss-hit backhand into the net from Tsitsipas.
And someone who's used to having a loud, obnoxious father that coaches from the crowd and doesn't know as much as he thinks he does. I mean, that would be Mark Philippoussis in a nutshell. So he might be able to help manage all that.
Tsitsipas serving and a backhand return. So 2 points for 5-4. It was interesting listening to Tsitsipas talking about Philippoussis, who's, as you say, sitting up there. And of course, a great big serving Aussie with a wonderful Wimbledon pedigree, but really playing down his role in the camp. But you'd suspect that he is mining him for information, and that had all the hallmarks of Philippoussis about it, that service game, as the backhand return goes into the net, and the game goes the way of the Greek.
Well, it doesn't take much, you know.
Tsitsipas leads 5 games to 4. First set.
The little things. It's the little things at that level. You can't overcoach a player who's already in the top 4
So what would a
in the
little
world.
thing be?
You know, it goes back to, like, Lindell changed 2 or 3 things with Murray's game, right? You had I lost my train of thought there. Thanks for interrupting.
Sorry.
But it's just like, you know, Philippoussis played a lot like him with a one-handed backhand. It's a different generation, but he had the big serve. He had the one-handed backhand. And it's more about what to do at certain stages of the match, because that's where Tsitsipas, at certain stages of the tournament, that's where Tsitsipas has kind of fallen aside, is that all of a sudden it looks like he doesn't know what to do. The father doesn't know what to do because he doesn't know what to do, and it becomes this spiral.
Time.
And Philippoussis can maybe guide them just through that little fog, you know, to get through that tunnel that can make him the better player.
Yes, Tsitsipas lost the French Open final last year, losing to Djokovic in 5 sets. Semi-final to Medvedev this year at the Australian Open. He only made it through to the 4th round at the French Open, but he's the 4th seed. He's ranked number 5 in the world by comparison. Kyrgios unseeded, ranked 40 in the world, but with such a great game for these grass courts. And remember how he burst on the scenes all those years ago with that extraordinary victory against Rafa Nadal, en route to his best Wimbledon to date, a quarter-final appearance. And there's an ace down the centre. He looks in the mood, he really does.
130.
15 love, serving to stay in the first set. And that serve sent down before the ball boy had got into position, and then a delicate drop shot to finish the point off return that just crept towards him. 30 love.
And again, Kyrgios electing to receive serve. That's why he's serving at 4-5. If he had chosen to serve, it would be 5-4 him with Tsitsipas serving.
Second serve, forehand return into the net. He's so quick between the points as well. It means that Tsitsipas just feels like he's being taken out of his rhythm a little bit. So 3 points for 5-all. And he only needs one of them. Ace down the centre, levels it up emphatically.
Well, he did a fake underhand serve. He faked twice, like he was going to hit the underhand serve again, and then he hit the big 127 up the middle right on the line.
Okay, let's head to Edgbaston. Ellie?
Joe Root is out, big wicket for India, caught behind, just leaning back, trying to get out of the way of a short one from Mohammad Siraj, managed to get a bat on it, and it was caught by Rishabh Pant behind the stump. So Joe Root is gone for 31, England 78 for 4.
Commentary continuing on Test Match Special on 5 Sports Extra and BBC Sounds. Here, an ace for Tsitsipas, takes him to 15 love, aims at the backhand but goes a little wide with the next serve. These players playing at a cracking rate. The crowd absolutely loving it. It's really high quality stuff. Backhand return. Now the forehand from the backhand corner from Tsitsipas. Now he switches to the backhand, drives it back with topspin. Good depth from both players until the Greek errs and nets with his backhand.
Yeah, I don't think Stefanos was expecting the backhand to go that deep. He had to kind of hop back. It wasn't quite a shuffle step, but he did like a hop. He landed, didn't quite get the transfer, hit the ball well, but just couldn't hit it that far, that low, because he knows if he pops the ball up, the point's over. And that's the kind of pressure that Kyrgios brings with his brute strength.
Tsitsipas serving at 15-all. Backhand return, sits up in mid-court. There's the big forehand, and it's put away. Painting the lines is Stefanos Tsitsipas there with the off forehand. 30-15. Reached the 4th round in 2018, losing to John Isner on that occasion. Since then, until this year, he hadn't won a match at Wimbledon. Tsitsipas serves into the net. 30-15, 5-all, first set, 38 absorbing minutes on court number 1. Second serve is good. No, it's long.
Oh, boy.
Double fault.
We talk about big points. Court 1, Wimbledon, to go to the round of 16, 5-all, 30-all. First set.
I tell you what, I was at the US Open Golf a couple of weeks ago. I managed to go to Fenway to watch the Boston Red Sox, and there's the kind of buzz around the court here that you get at a big ball game in America. Serve down the centre, just puts me in mind of it. Goes to the...
Got a lot of green walls here.
Yeah, absolutely. Not quite as big as the one at Fenway. Second serve is good this time. Forehand return, retreating forehand from Tsitsipas. Now he'll go with the backhand, cross court to the backhand of Kyrgios, who goes down the line. Kyrgios with the big forehand into the net. Huge point that.
Probably should have gone inside out with that forehand right there, Kyrgios.
40-30.
Maybe got a little bit tight, tried to crank it cross court. The inside out was open. He'd already pulled Tsitsipas. I don't know how Tsitsipas got that backhand down the line back. But that's why he's 4 in the world, right?
Yep. 40-30.
You hear Kyrgios mumbling. He's just mumbling while Tsitsipas is in his windup.
Well, he was talking away all throughout the change of ends as well. Short return brings Tsitsipas in, but he lifts it long on the forehand, comfortably over the baseline.
Yes.
That was the chance for Stefanos to go for a little bit of a trick shot. I think he should have played the backhand. He ran around it, hit a forehand, thinking he'd bunt it right in front of himself.
It was like he had too many options.
It got a little lower than he thought, and he should have played the traditional backhand.
5-all, deuce, 40 minutes on the clock. Lovely symmetry on the scoreboard. Tsitsipas serves, and it's an ace down the centre. Glorious.
And somehow Kyrgios turns to his back, puts his thumb up like it's their fault. He got aced.
Tsitsipas again, down the centre, this time the wrong side of the centre line.
Boy, that lens person just got out of the way with his life there. It was supposed to hit his head.
Second serve is good, forehand return onto the baseline. Oh, it was good. And it was called out. And the overall from the umpire.
Replay the point.
Well, here's the first explosion. And then
Kyrgios demanding that the lines person say sorry.
backhand return on the replayed point. Now the backhand cross-court from Kyrgios. A little slice from Tsitsipas. Then down the line from Kyrgios, who's passed. And now Kyrgios is furious. And there is the game. There is the game for Tsitsipas. 6-5.
This is what I don't like, Ian, is they turn off the mics. They turn off the mics so that we can't hear him, but now he's screaming so loud that you can't hear him.
No, he didn't. He didn't. Bro, you're supposed to make the right call. You don't get credit for making the right call.
Umpire.
Tsitsipas leads 6 games to 5, first set.
Damien Demoussois.
He just said sorry and it's all good, right? At 5-all in the fucking first set of Wimbledon third round, court 1. He said sorry and it's just all good.
Yeah, further apologies.
Right, so
That's why they're turning the mics off. Changeovers, I guess.
So why don't you just get a new rep? No, why don't you just get a new one? Why?
Well, this is exactly what we saw in the first round against Paul Jubb. As soon as something goes against him, he starts ranting and ranting and ranting. So again, apologies for the language that you may have heard there, but it gives you an insight into what is going on the course. And still he rants, still he raves. And the umpire, Damien Demoussois from France, is just taking it all on the chin, so to speak.
But he's turning his mic off, and then he's turning it back on. Then he turns his mic off, then he turns it back on. And he can't seem to, it's like trying to dodge the rain. I mean, you cannot dodge the Kyrgios tongue.
Right, let's head out to the doubles on court 2. Katie Smith.
Where it's just been wrapped up for Jamie Murray and his partner Bruno Suarez. Suarez getting so much love out here, and it was him who finished it off with a perfect lob, just caressing the baseline past Kacic and Vavasori. So these two win in straight sets, 6-4, 7-6, 7-5. And mum Judy Murray, part of the delighted court 2 crowd here over at the far end. She's just taken her sunglasses off. She stands in applause, and these two are heading into the third round.
Well, here on court 1, here's Nick Kyrgios for the second time, serving to stay in the first set here and coming in and powering away a forehand winner. And he will just crack on. He's been still chuntering away. He had a little byplay with the spectators when he came out as well. He's absolutely blanked the line judge who upset him on the last point there, calling a ball that was in out, which had to be a replayed point, which then led to Tsitsipas able to close out the game.
Right, I mean, it's a different match if that goes back to deuce, isn't it, Ian? I mean, let's not mince words about it.
30 love, and backhand return drifts wide, so he's hammering through this game just as he did the last one. And this will be a second successive love game if he wins this point, the Australian, down the centre, and that's exactly what he does with a thundering ace at 127 miles per hour. And we're into a first set tiebreak.
I'd love to check our stats department, Ian, because that game, I think, is the fastest service game in the history of men's tennis. It had to be like 45 seconds. I mean, he just hit 4 serves. I just got my first back rub of the fortnight, and I'd like to welcome Kim Kleisters.
Yeah, and for those of a technical persuasion, she's on microphone too. Great to see you, Kim.
Thank you so much. Looks like I missed a lot here in this first set.
Yeah, it's been absorbing. It's been Tsitsipas who has struggled more to hold serve. He's the only one who's had break points against him. But as with Kyrgios, there's always incident, there's always controversy. And he's had his first blow-up just towards the end of this set in regulation. Now we're into the tie-break. And a second serve ace after Kyrgios stepped way inside the baseline to receive that serve, and then he looks at the point where the ball landed as if to say that was a rogue bounce.
Well, I like the play, especially the tiebreaker, taking the return early on the second serve. He just was a little too aggressive. I mean, he was almost on the service line.
Looked like it was a bad bounce, too.
Backhand return drifts long off this Kyrgios serve, so the tiebreak levels up at a point apiece. Kyrgios serving in the shade, and what has been a strong breeze is tugging away at that sort of tank top that he's got on, with a sort of tighter fitting shirt beneath. But that's bigger shirt, the sleeveless one, is billowing away. He's got the cap turned round to the back with an upturned peak, and he serves into the net. So a second serve, 1-1 in the tiebreak. Second serve into the net, and double fault.
2-1.
First double fault of the match for him, and he picks there to do it. I would have rather seen the through the legs underhand serve than a double fault.
He dropped the first set in Halle against Tsitsipas, who then went on to lose the next two to give victory to Kyrgios. Kyrgios with the backhand return. Tsitsipas with the off forehand. Now he'll go with that again from the backhand corner, this time down the line. Cross-court from Kyrgios, deep from Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas watches as that goes long from the Australian. And a little bit of daylight in the breaker for the Greek now.
3-1. Tsitsipas. Please, ladies and gentlemen, stay quiet during the point. Thank you.
Just, you know, Kim, you know better than anyone. I mean, you're probably the best focuser of all time. I wouldn't say I was even in the top 100. But, I mean, he's got to be able to focus in this tiebreaker. It's such an important stage of the match, doesn't he?
He does.
He can't let one person in the crowd disturb him.
Second serve, backhand return. Now the loop backhand lands long.
But it's almost like there's a little bit of too many things happening, right, in the last few points, last few moments, that it all just builds up to a point where he can't control it. Because in his previous match, he was so almost very well behaved.
He kept saying to the media, I've given you nothing to write about, and he seemed very happy about that. We're back on serve in the breaker now. 2-3, Kyrgios serving, 47 minutes on the clock. Second serve, backhand return, and he's passed. He's passed, he's hit the line there, Tsitsipas going cross-court. And the mini break goes the way of the Greek again.
Put his thumb up to Tsitsipas, like that's just the best shot you could hit. But from that far back, Kim, shouldn't he be able to get a racket on that?
I mean, I think he should, but listen, I wasn't the perfect or a good example for serve and volley or coming into the net. I saw a little bit of chalk come up, so it obviously was a good passing shot from Tsitsipas.
Oh, here comes the snitch.
Oh, so a lines judge has just come up and had a word with the umpire about potentially something that Kyrgios has said. And this is going to darken the mood even more. And now he's having a word with the crowd. And now Tsitsipas turns his back and says, hang on a minute, I'm not ready to receive serve here. Because Kyrgios is playing to the crowd. Now he's ready to serve. And the backhand return, and Kyrgios with the forehand, and then the backhand with depth from Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas goes cross-court, and there's Kyrgios cross-court with the backhand. Now down the line from Tsitsipas. Oh, and it dies on Kyrgios, who just ends up swinging at air with his forehand. And Tsitsipas now in charge of the breaker.
It's amazing how much energy he loses, right, in moments like this where if he could only keep his focus on what he has to do out here. And I think everybody knows how good of a tennis player he is, but a lot of opponents also know how easily it is to get him distracted.
Well, his focus is nowhere to be seen.
And that backhand that he hit to Tsitsipas should have been down the line. And that's because he's distracted. He's playing the wrong shots.
Backhand return. Now Kyrgios goes with the backhand cross-court to the driven backhand single-fisted by Tsitsipas. That's wide from Kyrgios. And here are set points now for the man who's been up against it throughout the entire set. But then that one call which led to a replayed point, and Kyrgios has lost his head, and he's about to lose the breaker, it would seem. 6-2, 4 set points. Tsitsipas serves down the centre, just long. So second serve, still Kyrgios.
Still mumbling stuff.
Mumbling, coming out with stuff. Second serve is good, forehand return is long.
Out.
It's been called out by the line judge who's...
called it out. I don't think the chair umpire...
It's been called out. The chair umpire...
Nick Kyrgios is showing the call on the left baseline. The ball was called out.
So there's the challenge. It's the line nearest us. It's way out. It's way out. Yeah, by 6 inches. There's the set. 7 games, 7 points to 2, 7 games to 6. Kyrgios shaking his head, trudging back to his seat. And he takes a water bottle from the case. He sits down and he starts talking once again. And you just can't take your eyes off this guy. And he is chuntering away. He's looking a bit like the guy you don't want to be sitting next to on the bus right now, Kat. But he's lost the first set, and he lost it through a lack of focus just when things went against him with that call. And so on the tie-break, it is Stefanos Tsitsipas of Greece who has taken the first set.
You've got to feel, haven't you, for Damien Demissois, who's in the umpire's chat. They're still chatting, they're still chattering, still chuntering, still... I mean, he's going to have earache by the end of the night. But it is Nick Kyrgios who blinks first here on court 1. Let's get out to court 3, find out how Kyle Edmund is getting on his return from injury, Aaron Paul.
Well, Jack Sock and Coco Gauff have taken the first set here against Kyle Edmund and Olivia Nichols, holding serve to take it 6-4. Sock and Gauff grabbed the break point early on, but that experience of Jack Sock really pushed them through. And speaking of Sock and Gauff, they are 40-15 up in the third game here on court 3, with light starting to fade fast. I'm just wondering, there's quite a bit of cloud over court 3. It was very bright a couple of minutes ago, very cloudy now.
Don't say it, Aaron, don't say it, but it does feel a little bit like the lights have been switched off on court 1 as well, so we'll keep you updated on that. Let's get over to centre court, where Rafael Nadal is in action against Lorenzo Sonego of Italy. Jonathan Overend is watching.
Yes, it's going to be very interesting to watch Nadal over the next couple of hours, because he was nowhere near his best in the last round and definitely needs to pick up his form if he's to have any idea of winning a third Wimbledon title this year. But the good news for Rafa fans is that he looks sprightly at the start of this match. Going with serve, he's just put away a backhand volley to take a 2-1 lead in the opening set. Miles McLagan alongside me. What are you looking for from Nadal today in terms of making a statement after that, well, 6 out of 10 performance last time?
Well, if he moves up 1 notch, perhaps 2, that might be enough against Lorenzo Sonego, who's just dropped a little in the rankings, but already has seen Nadal being able to flatten the ball out. He knows that he's got to be aggressive today. The tall Italian has got plenty of firepower, so if Nadal sits back and is a little passive, lets him dictate, it could be some trouble. So we've just seen him serve volley. That's nice, looking to take the play away from the Italian, but all good so far for Nadal. As we talked after his match, I think, you know, when you're one of the greats, you get away with not playing so well, and you get the chance to give it another go. Often, if you're not one of the best, it's pack your bags and go home.
Nadal 2-1 first set, and the only involvement of the umpire here, Kat, on centre court was before the match, when he had to order 5 extra towels for Nadal.
Well, he does like to sweat, doesn't he, Rafael Nadal? Just getting a lovely shot of the crowds out on the hill to watch that Nadal match on the big screen that's on the side of court 1. They're just putting on their cardigans and their coats as the dark clouds loom over the All England Club. And they've been causing havoc at Edgbaston as well, where England are playing India in the 5th test. Ellie Oldroyd is watching that one. How's it going, Ellie?
Well, England have just lost their 5th wicket. It's the night watchman, Jack Leach, who has gone as well, out for a duck. He looked pretty tentative and uncertain out there. The previous ball from Mohamed Shami just edged and dropping short of slip. But this time caught behind Jack Leach, so he is out for a duck. Johnny Bairstow is still there on 11. Joe Root, the big wicket when he was out for 31. Just that little edge through to punt there from Leach watching the replay. I'm sitting alongside Prakash Wakanka of Test Match Special, and really this has been, well, I was going to say, it's been India's day the rain breaks have probably helped them as well.
Undoubtedly. I mean, one has to be fair in saying that the rain interruptions have definitely played to India's strength, because I think out of the 25 odd overs that have been bowled, if memory serves, about 23 have been bowled between Bumrah and Shami. Now, you'd never get that in a game which has not had these interruptions. That said, I thought the England batting has been loose. Zach Crawley again falling to a very, very loose shot. Ollie Pope playing at one that he really shouldn't have been playing. And I thought Alex Lees once again caught in no man's land, big gate. And Joe Root, I mean, Joe Root never plays like this. This is the most uncharacteristic that I've seen him. Flashed outside the off stump, wasn't quite at ease. And so I don't know if it's the interruptions that are disrupting their concentration, or it's a part of the new England batting approach.
Yeah, well, we'll see whether that's going to, whether that will be tested with, I mean, only 5 minutes to go till the close of play. You would have thought that Ben Stokes won't take any risks, but then you never know with Ben Stokes, do you?
Well, I mean, you know, he's been vehement about the fact that that is one particular way they're going to play. But I thought that after the way he got out at Headingley in the game against New Zealand, there were several people who said there is recklessness and there is aggression. And so we'll see. I mean, I would expect with 5 minutes left, maybe one more over after this. There's 3 balls in this over. If they take enough time, this could well be the last, Ellie. So we'll have to see. But England, in a spot of bother, they'll need to just hold a calm head and play this out.
Yeah, Ben Stokes certainly not in any great hurry to take his guard. Johnny Bairstow got a blow on the finger as well from Mohammed Shami earlier on, so he was in a bit of pain. You could see that as well. But this is a beautiful evening, actually. It's the nicest part of the day, this, with the shadows just starting to lengthen very slightly across the pitch. But bearing in mind when we are, you know, it's going to be light until 8:30 tonight. But they're going to go off in 5 minutes time, and that's not going to go down well with the crowd, is it?
No, and rightly so. I mean, look, I think the rules of the game are what they are, but someone needs to sit down and look at them from a simple common sense perspective. Great light, a lot of interruptions, 50 overs plus lost due to rain, and when you have the opportunity in this country, which doesn't happen in too many parts of the world, then we have to try and exploit that for the paying spectator.
I wonder just briefly about whether the England wheels have kind of slightly fallen off today, really, when you look at what happened towards the end of the Indian first innings as well, particularly that ridiculous over by Stuart Broad, which went for 35 runs.
Yes, I saw a quick comment by someone saying, without even bowling a single ball, Jasprit Bumrah has broken a world record. That says it all, doesn't it? And I think it's momentum shifted India's way, no question. But let's not just quickly write off this England team. They've come back from, 55 for 6 at Headingley just last week, and we know they can really, really come back strongly.
Absolutely, a very fine bowling attack as well for India, particularly when they've had time to put their boots up in the dressing room and relax in between the rain breaks as well. But they are on top here, India, with not long to go in at day 2 of this 5th Test match. England 83 for 5 in reply to India's 416.
Thanks very much, Ellie. Just a few minutes of play left then at Edgbaston, but it looks like we could be in for a long night here at Wimbledon. Rafael Nadal and Lorenzo Sonego just getting started on centre court there in the first set, and Nick Kyrgios and Stefanos Tsitsipas down below me on court 1, just getting stuck into their second set. Tsitsipas took that first one on a tie-break. But here's what's happened so far today. A disappointment for British fans here at Wimbledon, and there's been plenty of them out waving their Union flags, with defeats for Katie Boulter and Liam Brodie, and the women's number 11 seed Coco Gauff also went out. She was beaten by the American Amanda Anisimova, who said it was the greatest day of her career. Also, a huge shock defeat at last for French Open champion and world number 1 Iga Świątek. She lost to Elise Cornet on court 1 about an hour or so ago. So the 37 match winning streak is finally over. We're going to get back to commentary on court 1 in just a moment. Let's just give you a bit of a roundup of the reaction on social media to Nick Kyrgios' performance so far, because he has been chuntering and swearing and shouting at the lines judges and the referee. Dej on Twitter says, I wonder how the players feel about Kyrgios. All he does is complain. Well, he kind of splits the dressing room, doesn't he, Nick Kyrgios? They're either huge fans, or they don't like him at all. Max on Twitter says there's no wilder tennis drama than Kyrgios in a strop. It's becoming a regular occurrence. And Leo, also on Twitter, says the umpires must be so annoyed when they realise they're doing a Kyrgios match. I think Damien Demussoir tonight, Alison Mitchell, deserves a bonus for what he's had to put up with so far.
He's up there in the chair trying to look cool, calm and collected and keep a handle on this match, which so far, other than the outburst from Kyrgios at the change of ends, he is managing to do. Bit of a delay here because I think it's a new racket for Stefanos Tsitsipas. We're with serve in this second set. No breaks yet, 2 very quick service games to love. And then Kyrgios was 40-30 before closing out the service game for 2-1 on serve. So Tsitsipas getting ready to serve now. And Nick Kyrgios with his cap on backwards waits to receive. Tsitsipas looking to serve out wide, just squeezing into the tram line. So a second serve for the 4th seed, goes up the middle, backhand return from Kyrgios. Tsitsipas lets rip with that one-handed backhand. Some slice now, draws Kyrgios up to the net. He tries to pass and goes long and wide. And so 15 love. Tsitsipas, Jeff Tarango and Kim Clijsters alongside me.
Yeah, Kim, should Nick do a lap for missing that short ball? Where would you put that? Where would you? Yeah, how many push-ups do you make your students do when they miss short balls like that?
You're just glad you didn't go to Jeff's Academy.
How old they are.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
Tsitsipas stepping up with a forehand. Slice backhand again, draws Kyrgios forwards, drop shot, he gets it over the net, and there's the open court calmly for Tsitsipas to place the ball into. And he moves 30 love up on his serve.
30 love.
I still remember when I was 11 years old and Tracy Austin would throw her arms up. Oh my God, if I miss another short ball, I'm going to kill myself. Because she had done like 20 laps that day. She was just going crazy.
Kyrgios shouldn't have missed that one. Here is Tsitsipas with the serve again, return on the forehand. Picks one up off his toe, Tsitsipas. And now Kyrgios plays that with his feet off the ground. Didn't need to do that. He's popped him to the net. And it's 40 love.
It's like a game that doesn't matter, so he's hitting shots that don't matter. Yeah. And I think that to beat Tsitsipas, you have to keep the pressure on him the whole time. I don't think you can go in and out, in and out. That's what Tsitsipas needs. He needs a mental break.
Yeah, right. I think that's what when you step out on court against him, you know he's going to do some incredible things. He's going to hit the most amazing shots, but you just have to take that with it, because if you can stay with him
14, 15.
at some point,
he's gonna crack.
There's a huge chance that he will. Yep.
And that is a double fault from Tsitsipas. 40-15 on the Greek serve. He's a set-up after an opening set tie-break against Nick Kyrgios. The serve up the middle, and it flies off the frame of Kyrgios' racket away into the crowd behind, and Tsitsipas does hold, and he levels things up at 2 games apiece. Close of play at the test match. Eleanor Oldroyd.
Yes, it's been India's day here, Ali. England closed the day on 84 for 5 rather, in reply to India's first innings of 416. 3 wickets for Jasprit Bumrah, 1 for Siraj, 1 for Shami. Bairstow will survive overnight on 12. Ben Stokes yet to get off the mark. It's all been about the Indian stand-in captain, though. Bumrah with his 3 wickets at the top of the England innings, and at the end of the Indian innings, 31 of 16 balls, and we saw a record score for 1 over of 35 off the bowling of Stuart Broad, and also a 5 for Jimmy Anderson, which everyone seems to have forgotten about in the carnage of that Broad over. But close of play, England are 332 behind, 84 for 5.
Thank you, Ali. All the details on the TMS podcast, of course. There's a challenge for Tsitsipas here, and Kyrgios is again speaking to the chair umpire. Well, the Hawkeyes confirmed that the ball was indeed in.
And Kyrgios is still arguing because he says he knew he was going to lose the point, so he took the chance on the challenge. And the whole idea about the challenge is you're not allowed to give yourself 2 chances to win the point.
Today at the test as well for the television highlights, as Kyrgios just calmly plays a backhand and tucks it in behind Tsitsipas. And he has that ability, doesn't he, to move from ranks to just ease and sublime, and wins the points.
Yeah, he's a very, very talented player. I think there's nobody who doubts that side of him. Right? I think everybody knows how well he can play, and how many, everybody believes that he can win a Grand Slam if he can stay focused. And
there's another big serve block attempted return from Tsitsipas as the ball's sailing over the back of the court. It's another game, another hold for Kyrgios. 3-2 he leads.
And a lot of people have criticized Kyrgios, Kim, for saying that he's self-proclaiming himself as the best grass court player out there. I think for a guy like Kyrgios, he has to convince himself that he is in order to give himself a shot at all. Because if he has any doubt in himself, he's not as good.
Right.
So if you were coaching him mentally, would you say that was a good idea to say that right off the bat before the grass season started? Or how would you kind of guide him through that process?
Well, I think for him, it's really important to believe that he is, right? Because I think he shows moments where he really is. But I think he doesn't know all the time that, a tennis match is also won mentally, right? Everything has to come in together, and I think you can be the best tennis player, but you might not have the best head on your shoulders during the match.
Just turning his microphone down again because Kyrgios still chatting. We'll come back in a moment. Let's just get an update on centre court with Jonathan Overend.
A break for Rafa Nadal against Lorenzo Sonego. 4-1 Nadal leads, although in his last service game, Miles, he double faulted twice, uncharacteristically.
It is uncharacteristic, and then was given the helping hand, a couple of missed returns from Sonego. And the problem with Rafa is he makes you press so hard that you do feel that there's no comfort zone. You've got to go after it. That's why he got the break, a few errors from the Italian's racket. But yeah, sitting comfortably right now.
Nadal in control. 4-1, he leads first set.
And across the court, 3, where Aaron Paul is watching.
Yeah, Jack Sock and Coco Gauff have made light work of Kyle Edmund and Olivia Nichols. This one over in 15 minutes. The main story, Kyle Edmund's getting through a match without injury as he continues on the road to full recovery. Sock and Gauff wrap this one up 6-4, 6-1.
That is good news for Kyle Edmund. So it is Tsitsipas serving. We remain with serve in the second set after the Greek, the 4th seed, took the first on a tie break, and Kyrgios had 4 break points during that first set proper that he wasn't able to convert. The return of serve goes long. On Kyrgios, we heard those social media people questioning about, how is he perceived in the locker room? What do the players feel about him as the personality, the character, and the tennis player?
Listen, I'm not in the men's locker room, so I'm the wrong person.
I was going to ask when the last time Kim was in the men's locker room.
Well, that would be a
different story, right?
But the players chat.
I mean, I think we all see the good side of him too, right? And I have that a little bit in me too. Like, I see his good side, and I know what he does in his home country in Australia. For the the not so fortunate. Yeah, I mean, he for the younger generation, and so he's definitely not a bad guy. I think he comes across like that when just from watching him on TV. But at the same time, let me tell you, back when I had my tennis academy in Belgium, when you would ask the kids who's your favorite player, there was a lot of kids that would say Nick Kyrgios. So he definitely attracts a crowd. He attracts, maybe a crowd that is maybe not so much into tennis and not the typical kind of tennis fan.
He's a draw card. There's barely a seat to be had here on court number 1 as Kyrgios is returning on the backhand slice from Tsitsipas, and Kyrgios makes room for a forehand here. And another backhand from Stefanos Tsitsipas, who moves across now with a big single-handed cross-court backhand, but he's missed it and gone wide. That was game point. 40-15 on the Tsitsipas serve.
And you weren't here, Kim, but he started cracking earlier. He started yelling at his girlfriend or his coach or his dad or whoever that is up there. At that, you just keep saying the same thing every time. It's the 3rd round. I'm getting bored.
Well, I'm sure it's not the girlfriend, or I hope it's not the girlfriend coaching him.
Tsitsipas approaching, Kyrgios into the net. It is the game for Tsitsipas. We keep going on serve. And to level 3-all.
And to Tsitsipas's credit, when you hear, that voice next to you when you're sitting during the change of ends, and somebody who's complaining all the time and probably saying some very, obnoxious things and crazy things, it's not easy to just stay focused and to kind of just stay into your bubble and focus on your next service game, and that, that takes, a lot of self-control too.
And he's looking extremely focused, isn't he, Tsitsipas? That ability to just distance yourself from whatever chaos might be happening across the other side of the net. There's a low backhand, but lower this time and into the net from Kyrgios.
But at the same time, don't you kind of think, if this guy's cracking already, I got him. Like, it just gives me some free points that I don't expect. At some point, I'm going to get more free points because this guy's cracking.
Yeah, he is, but at the same time, he can also, I feel like he can turn it on like that too, right? He doesn't need a lot of points to kind of get back, and I think that's what Stefanos is thinking, is like, okay, I just have to stay with it, try to make him crack even more and more before he gets an opportunity to work himself into the match, or by hitting a great shot that kind of gets his adrenaline going.
15-all on the Kyrgios serve. Let's nip over to centre court quickly, because there's a set point, Jonathan Overend.
And Rafa Nadal wins the first set in just 27 minutes. 6-1 against Lorenzo Sonego, winning the last 5 games of it and playing some lovely stuff actually at the net later in that particular game, which closed it out. Sonego not in this contest at the moment. Rafa turning up the heat.
Well, here Kyrgios is 15-30 on his serve, but he's beating Tsitsipas on the baseline with tremendous depth.
Somebody tell me how fast that forehand was, because it looked faster than the serve.
An absolute ripper to pull it back to 30-all. Kyrgios with this quick service game that he has, sends one down the centre, but misses the target this time.
The ball girl right in front of us just slipped.
The return goes long from Tsitsipas, and Kyrgios digging himself out of a spot of minor bother at 15-30.
Do you think kind of his attitude could also have something to do with the fact that if he loses, he didn't get beat?
Right.
Because
the
opponent was the better tennis player,
Not
right?
exactly Monica Seles out there, is he?
No. No.
Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, I just trying to equate it, because I know you go up against someone like Monica Seles. She comes out with a shirt that says no excuses, and you're like, okay, I'm in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, for sure, right?
We stay with serve then, Kyrgios 4-3.
Remember that shirt?
I don't remember that.
Oh, okay. That was an intimidating shirt from such a tiny little...
Right. How old was she when she...
She's like 16.
Oh, really? Wow. No, I didn't.
But it was interesting, wasn't it, after the second round match with Kyrgios, when he played so well and said that he silenced the critics, if you like. It just actually led the papers to be able to say, Kat, that actually Kyrgios, when you play this well, you could be winning slams. So it still gave them something to write about.
Yeah. Well, it's true. That's what Kim's saying, right? He's got it where if it just turns it on at the right time, then Tsitsipas is in trouble. So, see, I'm thinking, okay, now I'm in it, because this guy's complaining, and she made a great point. If it goes to a tiebreaker again, then all of a sudden he turns it on, he's right back in it. So Tsitsipas cannot let up.
And Kyrgios believes it too. He said, didn't he, that this is his best chance in singles, best chance to win a Grand Slam in singles. That's why he's pulled out of the doubles where he was playing with his good mate Thanasi Kokkinakis, but said, that's it, I'm going to focus on the singles because I think this is my best chance to win a Grand Slam. But yeah, Stefanos Tsitsipas out to serve to stay on level terms in the second set on court one. Meanwhile, over on centre court, Rafa's doing Rafa things. Jonathan Overend.
He is, which he wasn't in the last round. It was very unlike Rafa. So I'm interested in getting Miles McLagan's scouting report on the first half an hour of play here. Is this the real Rafa standing up?
It's certainly been a good Rafa. He hasn't been tested, and it's not the best of Lorenzo Sonego so far. The Italians made way too many unforced errors. You can understand it because you're forced to go for so much against Rafa. But I think certainly improvements, unforced error count is pretty low, which is good news. And as you said, he's been coming forward, some nice touches at the net. We expect that from Rafa. Serve's been good. It's been... He'd give himself a good 7.5, 8 out of 10 right now.
Well, that's considerable progress in the last round. And we've only had one set. 6-1, Nadal leads, having won this first set.
Yeah, I think he'd take that assessment. We'll be back with Jonathan and Miles McLagan a little bit later on, but let's get back down to the commentary box here on Court 1. Ali Mitchell is with Kim Clijsters and Jeff Durando.
So it's a little bit disconcerting sitting here on this low-down commentary box at Court 1, because when Nick Kyrgios got up out of his chair after the change of ends, he walks right down this end to get his towel. And I mean, is our glass darkened? Because I really felt he was looking right in at us. We are that close.
Yeah, well, he was. it's kind of like watching a Formula One or a NASCAR race, isn't it? Where you're just like looking for the crash, and it's like so intense that you just expect around the next corner there's going to be a car crash.
It's 15-all on Tsitsipas serve.
I could see him coming over here with his racket and just taking a good hack at this window and saying, I want to see how strong it was.
He seems to stare right in. I mean, we're only meters away from him here. He's looking out the big screen now to see that was out indeed. Tsitsipas to serve again.
One more challenge left in this set.
Yeah, he's been burning through them. Backhand return, Tsitsipas up to the net with the backhand volley. Oh, looks at the backhand overhead smash, misses it. Had his back to the net as he played that. And so Kyrgios, 15-30 on the Tsitsipas serve.
Stefanos Tsitsipas has one challenge remaining.
He's really just one backhand return and one big forehand away from breaking here.
And all those break points that he had in the opening set that he wasn't able to make the most of. So Tsitsipas, 15-30, bit of pressure here. The white sweatband on his head, and he brings up an ace. Deep and out wide, and levels it at 30-all. Both of them have tremendous serves in their armoury. Bright sunshine across half of court number one. Breaking out through the roof, and here is Tsitsipas serving up the centre. Now the second serve, a little bit of a shake of the head from Kyrgios with that cap on backwards, full sleeve of tattoo on that right arm of his as he leans forward and waits for the Tsitsipas serve, which he returns on the backhand. Tsitsipas into the net, and here is Kyrgios with a break point.
Tsitsipas showing a little bit of frustration now as well.
30-40.
With that ball catching that brown spot where the players land at this point in the tournament. It starts getting a little roughed up, a little bumpy.
Yeah. And Nick really stepping into the return to try and take it early.
Crowd getting behind the Australian.
Yeah, they want to be out here for a while.
Second set, first break point we've had in this set. Tsitsipas serves, Kyrgios returning on the forehand, and he goes long. It's another one been and gone, 5 in all in the match.
Yes.
Whizzles his racket around his fingers. He's looking casual as you like, but
I think he makes it look like he doesn't care, but
I don't think he's happy.
No, but he's still refocusing for this big point here.
We're at deuce. Tsitsipas has lost his ball toss, so he will steady himself. He's been the form player on grass, winning the title of Mallorca on his way to Wimbledon here. That first serve goes long. Made the quarterfinals at Stuttgart as well, and he's been starting to enjoy the surface much more. Kyrgios with the shank return, missed that badly on the forehand.
The second serve hit the line, it's right in the corner.
Skids, doesn't it, when it hits the chalk. Advantage Tsitsipas.
I feel like Nick kind of knows how important this moment is because he's kind of quieted down a little bit.
He's been tanking a lot of game points on Tsitsipas' serve. See how he's not holding for a two-handed backhand.
Tsitsipas, the backhand of Kyrgios on return. Slice from the Greek, and Kyrgios flicks that forehand deep into the court, takes a bit of pace off with the slice backhand, and then casually just places it down the line for the winner. That looked easy as you like.
That was like a Milov Machir backhand down the line. Yes. Just so smooth, kind of inside out, just a little slap.
Well, how about the slice before that?
Let's get quickly to centre court where there's a break point. Jonathan Overend.
Yeah, Nadal is motoring. Break point on the Sonego serve, and the Italian just has not brought his true self out onto centre today. Backhand chop return from Nadal, forehand from Sonego, passing shot from Nadal, forehand winner cross court. Spectators on their feet. Nadal leads by a set and a break. 1-love.
It's game point again here for Tsitsipas. He has advantage. Kyrgios is almost motionless as he waits to receive that first serve into the very top of the net cord.
Somebody tell my co-host to upset tour that Sonego's lucky to be in the third round.
Game point here, and flick backhand. It's Tsitsipas now who is going to miss with the backhand, miss hits. And we're back to deuce again.
Yes.
So let's go back to that backhand slice, Kim, that set up that backhand down the line. What player would you say that looked like? I mean, I don't recognize it, really.
No.
Okay.
On the women's
Natalie
tour.
Tauzier.
Natalie, I mean, Ash Barty had a good slice, right? Justine, Steffi, but maybe not as sharp as that one was.
Yeah, it really stayed low right after it went over the net. Like, it was already breaking. It's so interesting how he's able to do that with that ball.
There's another well-executed backhand from Tsitsipas to bring up game point once again. Looking to level things at 4-all in this second set. Looking for the corner. He serves and misses it. Few bounce of the ball again, real hush around court one. Tense moment. This game is a really big one into the net on the return from Kyrgios. And Tsitsipas does hold. A conceded break point within that. Importantly though for him, he has held.
4 games on. Second set.
Yep, a couple of chances there for Nick.
Immediately, Kyrgios is serving again. He wastes so little time, and he's making Tsitsipas move across the court, pulling in one side and then the other, and Tsitsipas can only reach and stretch for a backhand into the bottom of the net.
He's moving so quickly that the chair umpire wasn't even ready.
I don't think many people were ready. Kyrgios has stepped up the pace in more ways than one, and that forehand is a blistering one to find the line.
Yeah, if I'm Tsitsipas, I don't walk up to the line that quick. I go to my towel. They can collect call.
Drop shot, that just trickled over the net. It almost sat on the net before it eased over, and Kyrgios is just immediately ready to serve again. The ball kids aren't even back in position, the ball boys and ball girls. And he's missed one. This is breathless tennis. Tennis at fast forward pace. Drop shot attempt this time, and he misses, and the ball plops into the base of the net.
You know, Kyrgios reminds me when I was like 11 years old, and my parents would go, hey, Jeff, go out and hit a bucket of serves, and I'd come back up in like 7 minutes. And they'd be like, no way you hit a bucket of serves in 7 minutes. But I think Kyrgios could do it.
Yeah, probably.
This is game point, but he's into the net toward that time.
You've never done that, right?
40, 30.
I'm sure I have. Just don't remember it as well. He's almost looked so laid back that, you know, he's kind of let Tsitsipas creep back into this game a little bit.
Down the middle with the serve, returned by Tsitsipas, and then Kyrgios has fired it long, and it's juice.
Yes.
Well, maybe this sort of fast-forward tennis is not ultimately working for him.
It's kind of my word of the day is blasé.
Blasé?
Yeah. Nonchalant.
That is Kyrgios summed up at this point in time. It's like he's loaded his pockets with as many balls as he can fit.
I wouldn't say it's arrogance. I wouldn't say it's like he was too cocky. That's why those 2 points just slipped away.
Return on the forehand from Tsitsipas. Forehand again as Kyrgios, gently with these backhands, just placing them around the court. He goes down the line that time, and from the middle of the court, he's just standing, as if he's barely putting any effort or pace on these balls. Return from Tsitsipas with slice, a little bit more on that one, and pushes Tsitsipas deeper. Now he feels like he's toying with him. Tsitsipas on the defense here, and drop shot from Kyrgios, but into the net. And he brings his hand to his brow, as if to say, well, how have I missed that?
It's amazing. Like the first 3 points of this game, he played perfect tennis. And then
break point for Tsitsipas.
Tsitsipas put his hand up and says, hold on a second, I'm not ready yet. Luckily, it was a let.
He's going to need to pull a rabbit out of his hat right now.
Kyrgios with a second serve. Break point down, finds an ace. Of course he does. Of course he does. Right up the centre. And it's juice.
Yes. I think it was a pink rabbit, that.
He's everything, isn't he? He is the floor genius. Again, a big serve out wide. Ricochets off the frame of Tsitsipas's racket into the crowd. He's got game point. Returned on the forehand from Tsitsipas. Down the line, he's made it. And Kyrgios, well, he was break point down, but he's come back to hold at a game of breakneck speed, Kat. And we are 5-4, still with serve in the second set.
And people are on their feet in front of me. I'm high up in the rafters here on court one, looking down across the heads of all the spectators. And they were on their feet to applaud that game win for Nick Kyrgios to keep himself on serve in that second set. So there's your answer if you're asking how popular the guy is, despite his antics, despite his outbursts. People love him, don't they? He's a Marmite player. Let's get over to centre court, find out how Rafael Nadal is getting on against Lorenzo Sonego of Italy. Jonathan Overend.
Well, he's getting on magnificently, Kat, and this is such a transformation in 48 hours from the Nadal we saw in the second round to the Nadal who currently is putting on a masterclass on centre court. 6-1, 2-love up against a player who until last week was inside the world's top 25, Miles McLagan. He's a decent player, Lorenzo Sonego. He looks bang average today because that's what Rafa's making him look like.
It's exactly right. I mean, let's not forget this is a player who's reached levels that most would absolutely dream of, and he's a big hitter as well, and he can't get through Nadal's defenses. He's having to defend a lot of the time. I'm sure he went out there with the game plan and says, listen, you've got to get on the front foot, you've got to be aggressive, and in doing so he's just made a few too many errors, but Rafa is looking razor sharp.
Yeah, I just wonder whether Rafa, after the patchy performance last time out, went out that evening onto the practice courts. Probably did, certainly the following day, and any rustiness he has managed to remove from his game. He's got love 30 again on the Sonego serve right now as Nadal leads 6-1, 2-love.
I don't know how much in-depth preparation, or how in-depth you went with your preparation of Lorenzo Sonego, Jonathan, but did you listen to his musical release? Un Solo Secondo. Yeah, he released his first single called Un Solo Secondo, inspired by reggae music.
Right.
And then he went on to go through to the second week of Roland Garros last year.
Okay.
I recommend a listen, and we'll come back to you for your verdict.
Okay.
But let's get back down to the Court 1 commentary box. Ali Mitchell, Kim Clijsters, Jeff Tarango watching Nick Kyrgios and Stefanos Tsitsipas slugging it out in this second set.
30.
You cannot take your eyes off the action for a millisecond for fear of what you might miss down here on Court 1. And Tsitsipas can see back of his shirt sticking to him through the sweat.
All right, and from where we're sitting, he must have said something.
Kyrgios has said something to the umpire.
The umpire doesn't want to hear it. He's putting his head down like, goodness gracious. Please don't tell me.
The line judge has moved forward to speak to the umpire. Let's hear now.
Violation audible obscenity warning, Mr. Kyrgios.
Audible obscenity. So one warning for Nick Kyrgios. That's what the crowd think of it.
It's amazing to see from where we're sitting. You know, when Tsitsipas comes and asks the ball girl for a ball, he's talking to himself so positively. He's like, come on, let's go. You can kind of read his lips.
He needs to hold serve, Tsitsipas, to level things at 5 games all in this second set. The first went to a tie break, which Tsitsipas, the 4th seed, won 7-6. There's a break point, meanwhile, on centre court for Jonathan.
Yep, and I'll only give you one guess as to who it's for. It's a break point for Nadal at already leading 2-love in this second set. 30-40 on the Sonego serve, and Sonego just looking, he's a tall man, the Italian, but he just looks at the moment like he wants the court to open up and swallow him whole. Nadal is swaying, looks so keen and eager at the far end. Forehand return Nadal, forehand Sonego, and he just clearing the net. Forehand with so much spin from Nadal. Cross court and wide goes Sonego, going for too much, but that's the pressure that Nadal has put on him thus far. We've only played for 45 minutes, but Nadal in cruise control, 6-1, 3-love.
Well, I've just seen a fabulous return of serve from Nick Kyrgios.
I think Kyrgios thinks, well, if you're going to find me $5 grand, I might as well break serve.
It's just the way it'd think, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Let's step things up here. Well,
I'm going to need the extra cash by the time this match is over.
Is that what it is? Is it 5,000?
Hasn't it gone up there? I mean, it's a lot more than what it was when we played. Sure. Let's put it that way.
Well, he was fined $10,000, wasn't he, for the spitting?
Oh, really?
Already. In the previous round, Tsitsipas down the centre with an ace. Earns himself game points to hold.
How many times did Boris Becker spit per match when he played?
I know, but was it towards a fan? No, it was just a habit, right? Just down.
Tsitsipas then game point for 5-all up the middle, and Kyrgios with another rocket of a return off his racket, which Tsitsipas can only then put into the net.
Yes.
He's got his box on their feet behind him above the scoreboard. Kyrgios.
Big moment. Again, came close in the previous service game of Tsitsipas.
Business end of this second set. Kyrgios, if he can break here, he'll level things at 1-all. Tsitsipas bounces the ball, headband, concealing his Golden curly locks and looks to find the corner. He's gone long and wide. And it is a break point for Kyrgios. It's a set point for Kyrgios. And the crowd want this one to be leveled at one set apiece.
And you know what I haven't seen in 45 minutes is one person leave their seat. Not one.
There's too much entertainment going on here.
It is gripping tennis on a Saturday night at Wimbledon. Break point for Kyrgios. Tsitsipas serves into the corner, backhand return. Tsitsipas up to the net, places the ball deep. Lob goes up, smash from Tsitsipas. And Kyrgios has filled the court. He's got past Tsitsipas at the net, and Kyrgios has broken to take the set. Oh, and now Tsitsipas sends a ball firing into the crowd. Kyrgios is now asking the umpire, hang on.
And it hits two spectators.
You've got a better view of that, Jen, from me from where you're sitting.
He smacked it back and as hard as he could.
He's just held his hand up and apologising.
An old lady ricocheted off her crotch and then hit another spectator.
Yeah, but he sent that towards his box.
Yeah.
To pass, but it hit people in
right
the stands.
below it. He can't say he didn't see it. The umpire can't say he didn't see it.
Yeah, but
Kyrgios is using the word default to the chair.
Yeah, but I mean, he almost should be defaulted. I mean, if
they're going to default Djokovic,
yep. The things
he's got to call a supervisor.
That we've seen happen in the past.
Well, this
got to call a supervisor.
You have to draw the line.
He is asking for the supervisor to come out here onto court number one, and the chair umpire is motioning towards the door.
Because then the supervisor calls up and he said, "Yep, he's done."
Well, we all thought that Stefanos Tsitsipas was the cool, calm, collected one in this heated battle out there. He displayed very few emotions, but here now comes the supervisor onto court. Tsitsipas is up out of his chair, and the umpire is speaking to the Greek, the 4th seed. Chair umpire speaking to the supervisor.
How can they just get a
warning? I think this is going to ignite Kyrgios even more.
It's ball abuse and it's sportsmanship. And it hit 2 fans.
What are you talking about? No backing someone and hit it there. She didn't hit it hard because there's no respect. Zero respect. So why are you not doing it to him? Yes, it is the same. It happened right there.
After the match, I explain.
No, what are you talking about?
Not now.
After the match, I explain it to you? What does that mean?
This is the supervisor and Kyrgios.
What are you guys talking about, bro? Bro, bring out more supervisors. I'm not done. You can bring them all out. I don't care. I'm not playing until...
Tsitsipas is making a mistake by going to the bathroom. Tsitsipas is making a big mistake by going to the bathroom here. He should get out there and play a point as soon as he can.
What do you mean the result? What happened to Novak when he hit the ball to the girl? Did he hit it hard? Was she injured? She was injured. Oh my God. All right, give me the more supervisors then. I'm not playing until we get to the bottom of this.
There's usually a supervisor
all of them.
on the show courts, right?
Okay, yeah, well, the supervisor came out. He's going to supervise.
He wants the supervisors to supervise.
He said, I'll talk to you about it after the match. You've heard that one before, haven't you?
Well, we could have a bit of a standoff here because Kyrgios has made it clear that he won't
need the
play.
referee now.
Yeah, but don't you think he's right, though?
He is right.
So the rules as the rules are, Tsitsipas has fired a ball towards the direction of his box, but he's ended up striking a spectator. That should be a default. Where is Tsitsipas right now? He's
he went
left
to the bathroom
the
and
court.
his dad went to the bathroom.
Kyrgios has now walked away from his chair towards the entrance to the court, speaking still to the supervisor.
It's above the supervisor now. The referee needs to come out. No question.
Yeah. What's the difference, though? What's the difference between what happened at the US Open with Novak?
I mean, he hit that backhand pretty hard.
He did. He swatted that ball away with some force.
I mean, they're going to show it on replay. Watch.
Pulls the ball out of his pocket.
On the fly, he takes a full grip. Watch this.
It's gone into the crowd beneath his box, and it has
hits that guy, and then back to the left, and then it hits another spectator after that.
Yeah, that is not good, and Kyrgios knows it. And Kyrgios feels he feels like the victim of double standards here, doesn't he?
I wonder if they saw the replay of it.
Well, this is where tennis needs replays, does it not?
They should play it on the screen.
If this was rugby, if it was football, you'd be looking at.
Tsitsipas should have played a point
TV
already.
replay.
He blew it by not going to play a point.
Umpires should have the ability to look at a TV replay to make a judgment call on events such as this. A replay, we've just seen a replay.
So that's nothing, just a code violation. So so he can hit a ball and hit someone this way.
Kyrgios is still asking a question, rightly so.
Which colour is mine?
The journalist wants to know which towel
He's just trying to distract the chair umpire for a second.
Yeah.
Hey!
But I don't understand why the referee isn't coming out on the call like that.
Well, he did.
Is Jerry busy?
Oh, the
Yeah, Jerry Armstrong
the
isn't
head.
busy.
Yeah.
Well, in the
Especially with the
meantime-
Nadal match being easy.
In the meantime, got Ian Carter here who's going to talk you through the third set. I've even brought a bag of popcorn in, Ian. Here you go.
Does that mean the second set's officially over? Kyrgios is still talking.
Conversations go on.
What's the word on the street, Ian?
Well,
did they show it on the hill?
They didn't say. I was coming through the rabbit warren of tunnels.
Call a referee.
Get back into
There's
our
no way he should
tiny
play this
little-
point. He should call a referee first.
to get into this tiny little commentary box that we're
There
in.
we
But the
go.
third set is underway. The crowd are happy because they want to see more of this. It's an absorbing contest.
Well, it's very clear who the crowd is behind right now. They agree with Nick.
Kyrgios with the second set by 6-4, a match dripping with controversy already. And how long is this going to go into the Saturday night? It could be an absolute thriller.
Hey,
Just
Ian,
saw
Kim and I
Tsitsipas.
have made it really hot in here. Would you mind turning that down for me a little bit, please? Yeah, thank you.
So here we are, 15 love turns into 30 love with a service winner for Kyrgios.
When Tsitsipas walked over to the ad side of the court, that was the side where he hit the lady or
Yeah, they're
a
showing the
couple
lady.
of people, and he said something to them again, and he apologized, put his hand up.
But
So
there
he
is
knows he's lucky that he got away with that one.
and you've got to ask the question, had it been Kyrgios who
Oh.
hit that,
I don't
what-
even think.
how different would the outcome
Exactly, I think we all-
potentially have been,
I think we all know the answer.
given his rap sheet? Second serve at 30 love. Backhand return from Tsitsipas to the running forehand. Down the line, clean winner, I think, from Kyrgios. Yes, it is. Hitting the line. It's the one line, Judge, we can't see from our position, but we do have a fabulous view here. Down at court level. And once again, he's talking away. 30-15. And a forehand return into the net from Tsitsipas. So 2 points for a 1-love lead for the Australian here. A serve down the centre is just the wrong side of that centre line. Kyrgios, Tsitsipas return. Kyrgios with the big forehand, clean winner. Wow, playing at a rate of knots here, and the momentum with the Australian underdog.
First game, third set.
Because the world number 40, the unseeded Australian, is one ahead.
The amount of shit the tournament's going to get after this press conference to watch.
Well, he's off again. He's off again.
He's already thinking about his press conference later. He can't.
Yeah, I think you may have just picked up a word there for which we apologise. And still the conversations go on. And the referee is just having to do the umpire is having to do his diplomatic duties and try and keep a lid on this, because
He's already
Kyrgios
blown it.
he's a volcano.
I wonder if the referee did,
I don't think he saw it.
No, but before the match gets, put on the schedule, if they look at, which umpire are we going to put on this match?
Oh yeah.
Who is do they do that?
Yeah, I
I'm
talked
sure
to
they-
Muhammad about it the other day. They
Mohamed
can't
Layani.
put the same guy on Kyrgios' match 2 in a row, because then he does completely go over. He loses it.
Tsitsipas serving at love 1 set apiece in this match here on number 1 court. And that goes long off the Kyrgios racket from deep behind his own baseline.
And some of them like it, but some of them don't like it, so it's like drawing straws.
Yeah, I wonder when you're an umpire if you think, oh no, I've got him, or you think, oh, this is going to be good. Off the top of the net with the first serve.
First service.
That
Jerry Armstrong is now in attendance.
a little bit late. And a forehand return, and now Tsitsipas with a deep forehand, running forehand cross court. Tsitsipas in at the net, stop volley. Kyrgios after it, can't quite get there in the end. And that was fantastic from the Greek. Lovely control from him.
30 love.
So Tsitsipas at 30 love now. Love 1. Third set, 1 set apiece. First serve into the net. And now the Greek, tall figure, blonde hair, serves. And a forehand return, and then an unforced error from Tsitsipas as he puts the backhand into the net.
The problem we run into here is that the chair umpire gave him an unsportsmanlike conduct warning. If he didn't intend on defaulting him, he should have given him a ball abuse warning and say the ball wasn't a threat and didn't scare anyone.
Deep serve scores for Tsitsipas, and it goes long.
But does that matter in the next point? No, right?
No.
The type of warning doesn't really matter at this stage.
Not now.
So it's just a different description of
Right, but
what it was.
they're already covering their tracks by saying he shouldn't have said
this winner.
You see, if he was really covering his tracks, he would have said ball abuse. But the fact that he's done unsportsmanlike conduct meant it was different from ball abuse. It was something else, right? So if it's something else, what is it?
Well, if you hit a line judge, if you hit a ball boy, that's default, isn't it?
Right.
Presumably a spectator falls into that category.
It's actually if you smack the ball in anger and it hurts someone.
Well, that's why we see so many people get frustrated. They try to hit it out of the stadium, or they try to hit it up so it doesn't go straight to any fans.
So the photographer needs to get that girl in the red hat, who seems very bitter. She's got her arms crossed. She keeps shaking her head up and down. Everybody keeps patting her on the back.
You're stoking it up here,
Interview
Jeff.
her.
Kyrgios at Waddle serves now, and a forehand return, and then Kyrgios comes in behind the forehand. Defensive lob is hoisted and lands in the sidelines from Tsitsipas.
All right, back to the tennis. I'm over it now. What about you, Kimmy?
Yeah.
I'll just offer one other thing. How do we feel about Kyrgios trying to get his opponent defaulted?
Well, I think you got to ask the question.
Serve, and that's a service winner. The backhand into the net. But I mean, it's a bit like, none of us like it in football when we see someone, soccer as you would call it, trying to get somebody sent off. No one likes that, do they?
Yeah, but you let them do it.
No, but there was a reason for it. It's not like he's kind of pushing to try and get a goal. Like there was definitely a big chance that he would have gotten disqualified.
Oh!
And Tsitsipas,
he just smacked that right at Kyrgios.
Yeah, he hit that back down this end, and it went very close to Kyrgios off the Tsitsipas racket. But we're into the next point, and Tsitsipas is at the net and guides a volley wide.
He's lucky that Kyrgios didn't see him do that, because I think Kyrgios is in the right mind to just jump the net and beat him.
40
Then
love.
the match is definitely over.
Kyrgios down the centre, forehand return. Retreating Kyrgios picks it up on the backhand, then runs to the forehand corner, goes down the line. Now he's after a short ball, gets to it, goes cross-court. Well read by Tsitsipas, who puts the backhand deep into the Kyrgios court to score. Basically, Kyrgios at that change of ends was just saying there's just going to be so much trouble at the end of this match.
Hey, at the end of the day,
press
this guy
conference.
wants. At the end of the day, in answer to your question, Ian, Nick wants to play. But if he can get the match,
he wants to win.
If he can get the match in 2 minutes, he's going to take that opportunity also.
40-15. First serve into the net. Second serve is good from Kyrgios. Tsitsipas with the backhand, and then Kyrgios with the error. That was loose. 40-30. Long and wide. Off the forehand. Kyrgios serves. Backhand return onto the baseline. Picked up on the half volley by Kyrgios. Somewhat lazily, but effectively. And a lame backhand into the net from the Greek. Kyrgios holds to 30.
Hard at your opponent's acceptable as well.
Okay.
Right at me.
That was a really, really disheartening drop shot there by Tsitsipas. He should have made that ball and tied it up to deuce.
Kyrgios leads 2 games to 1.
Now we heard Nick complain to the chair umpire because he did realize that Tsitsipas hit that ball at him. He's complaining about that, so how much more are you going to let him get away with? He hit a ball right at me.
But just with that though, so I can just go, I can hit the ball as hard as I want to step, but then if it doesn't hit him, it's okay. Okay?
I got the knee.
Yeah, so it's okay though.
Okay.
Because it didn't hit me, it's okay. But it's nothing about intent.
So do you think
about intent though.
because Tsitsipas
Nothing about intent though, right?
let's just say his overall behavior on court is more respectful, is a little bit more, neutral, that he gets away with more than Nick would in the same situation?
Well, again, and that's a question that Sir Andy Murray has answered also. That he doesn't respect how Tsitsipas acts on the court, and so maybe he's
of course
just
not.
You got the little girl.
So I don't understand why the chair umpire is dismissing him. So we should see.
Time.
Well, the chair umpire is very clear that he doesn't want to have this discussion anymore with him.
Yeah, but Jerry's in hot water for A, not being here, and B, for not making a ruling. The referee at that point needs to make a ruling.
Just in the context of the match, so pretty much every change of ends, Kyrgios has been ranting about something or other and has been deep in conversation either with himself or with the umpire. At what point is he giving himself any headspace to think tactically about how the match should be going, how he should be playing it, or does that not matter at all?
Not for this guy. Doesn't matter for this guy. The less he thinks, the better.
Well, let's head to calmer waters, to centre court. Jonathan Soothers.
Wow. I mean, this is a lot. This is a lot to digest, isn't it, at 7:45 on a Saturday evening. Nadal here on centre court. It's very comfortable. 6-1, 5-2 is the score. We'll try and soothe you with a set point. And the first serve missed by Nadal. It's all very frantic, Miles, isn't it?
That's a different pace down here. Everybody acting correctly, properly, despite the fact that Sonigo's not having his best early evening.
This is like heading to the croquet from the boxing. Nadal, 40-15, set point. Oh, hello. What's happened? Oh,
a bird on
it was a bird. It was a bird. I was looking around to see if Kyrgios had appeared. It was just a bird fluttering down onto the court just as Nadal was going to serve on set point. There we go. That's the extent of the umpire's involvement here on centre. Missed serve from Nadal, so second serve at set point, leading 6-1, 5-2, 40-15. Just on that though, Mars, you think, you're agreed, aren't you, that Tsitsipas should have been defaulted very quickly?
Yes, I think so.
Forehand
you
long
outside
from
the court, yeah.
We only had time for a one-word answer there, I'm afraid. Backhand cross-court from Nadal, backhand down the line from Nadal and just wide. So the first set point is saved by Sonego. 40-30 in the game. Oh, we've got time to hold, so you can expand.
Well, I think tennis needs to get tougher on that. I think there needs to be a rule. If you hit someone with a ball, you're gone. Your racket leaves your hand and it hits somebody, you're gone. We've got to be careful where the sport's going.
And I suppose the obvious follow-up to that, and the guys have touched on this a little bit, as Nadal serves backhand from Sonego onto the forehand, and Nadal gets Sonego on the run, backhand from Nadal on the chip, a backhand from Sonego. This is on the second set point, backhand chip down the line from Sonego, backhand cross-court winner from Nadal. One of those blistering, brutal backhands where he uses so much right hand, and that is Nadal closing the set. 6-1, 6-2.
We're here on number one court. Kyrgios challenges successfully at 15-30, and so a second serve for Tsitsipas, but then a wild forehand return goes long.
I think that it's interesting that we're like dodging landmines, shooting off canyons here on court one, and Jonathan's over there bird watching.
30 all. Where is the next incident coming from? Serve off the top of the net.
And if they can do the Hawkeye review, why can't the referee, before he comes out to the court, before the supervisor makes his decision final, shouldn't the referee look at it almost with the committee? Up in the review booth in the referee's office, and then come down and make a decision for the whole of Wimbledon, for its reputation, for the rules?
And a double fault, and a challenge from Tsitsipas now on that one. It was called long.
So he based the decision on what? On what he saw?
He just said the decision's been made. We'll talk about it after the match.
Yeah.
So he went on the decision from the umpire then?
30,
yes.
40.
So.
Tsitsipas has two
Key moments here, though. 30-40, a double fault from Stefanos Tsitsipas, the fourth seed, and into the net with his first serve here. And real momentum in the match with Kyrgios at the moment. The crowd are behind him. And Tsitsipas in big trouble. Second serve, backhand return. Forehand from the backhand corner from Tsitsipas. Good depth on it. Now he drives a backhand cross court. He'll go with that backhand again. Down the line to the running forehand cross court from Kyrgios. Sits up for Tsitsipas. Oh, what a shot from the Greek. Forehand cross court. What a way to save break point there. That was brilliant.
I mean, Nick did everything right.
Yes.
Really pulled Tsitsipas out of the court to the forehand. But just too good from Tsitsipas.
Sensational. Now the tennis is talking. Juice. Kyrgios leading 2-1. Third set, 1 set apiece. First serve goes long. Can't buy a first serve at the moment. Can the Greek rank number 5 in the world? Tsitsipas serves into the body. It's well guided back by Kyrgios, who then chops one back. Sits up for Kyrgios to unleash that forehand again. Chop back, no pace, and it foxes Tsitsipas as he comes in and nets with the running forehand. Another break point.
Tsitsipas just showing a little bit more frustration at the moment.
Packed number 1 court, living this match right now. And Kyrgios with a point for a 3-1 lead in the third set. Tsitsipas, blonde-haired, serves wide down the backhand side. Deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4 bounces of the ball. Second serve, good. Backhand return, even better. Stretched forehand from Tsitsipas. Now a top-spun forehand. Clean winner from Kyrgios to bring up the break. And go 3-1 ahead in the third set. Scintillating tennis in that game from both players. And it's Kyrgios with a break of serve.
All right, we saw Kyrgios just look over to Tsitsipas, his box, as if to say, like, there you go. He's still talking to the referee.
He's still going there, saying we shouldn't be out here. This guy should have been defaulted.
Well,
it's my lip reading anyway.
Jerry's nodding his head and saying I wasn't here. Like it's like it went past the chain of command. The supervisor should not make that decision. And that's probably what Jerry's saying to him. He's like, well, if we had to do it over again, we probably would. But
bit of movement in the players' box.
Somebody's got the wrong seat. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's happened before. I don't know why that stuff is so disturbing. Makes no sense.
It's in the Kyrgios box, and they've got rid of whoever it was. He's gone down exit 12. And here's Kyrgios. Kyrgios is looking up there again. And he just decides that I need to just tuck my neck chain into my shirt now. Serves wide to the forehand. Stretch return goes long, and a venomous roar from Kyrgios in celebration.
I mean, since I've been here, that's the first time that he's shown a little bit of a
come on.
Positive. Yeah, come on. There we go. He does it again.
It's like he's got a screw in Tsitsipas' elbow, and he just wants to turn it 1 point at a time.
128 miles an hour, that ace.
Is that too graphic?
No. Oh, fine. I like the visuals.
I loved it in 6 Love 6 when we had a caller saying, where are the characters in tennis? Serve down the centre, it's an ace. Thunderbolt from Kyrgios. 131 miles per hour, straight down the tee.
They didn't all retire in the early 2000s? Is that what you're saying, Ian?
Oh, the underarm serve. Oh, my goodness. Tsitsipas comes in and he hits the ball with so much venom. It goes on the ball into the backboard.
That is reckless.
Seriously,
it was really reckless. And now the boos, you can hear them.
That is reckless what just happened. How can
he get away with this? How can he get away with this?
He was so fortunate that hit the back wall.
I mean, he needs to be kicked off the court. I'm sorry. Like, that's very clear.
That was off. Let's just describe what happened. That was off an underarm serve, and Tsitsipas ran in and belted an underarm return that flew on the full into the wall behind the backboard, but just below where the spectators were sitting.
And
any higher, he'd have been out.
Missed the tournament referee's head by 2.5 feet.
And he didn't mean to miss it. Like, this could have gone a lot worse.
Well,
if it could have hit somebody below, up in the stands, or right below.
It was reckless.
In the
That was
referee's
exactly
corner.
the right word, Kim Kleisters. I mean, Jeff, you've had your shares of controversy in tennis and at Wimbledon in the past, but just give us a clear-headed analysis of what's going on here, how players can lose it in the way that they are right now.
This is favoritism to a top-ranked player. They're blatantly saying that Kyrgios, we're going to keep you under straps and do whatever he can to stop you, but we're going to let Tsitsipas do whatever he wants. He's got the Tsitsipas, you get it?
The pass?
Yeah.
And now Tsitsipas
now he's worrying
has just
about...
realised that he has been given a point penalty.
He's saying, but I didn't hit anybody. Of course it's love 15.
He's saying he didn't have control of the ball because it was...
Oh my God, please.
Oh, here we go.
Please.
Well, now he's at the umpire's chair arguing.
Says you should be giving him a penalty.
There is no reason. There is no reason to.
I don't even understand what Tsitsipas is trying to, like, what point he's trying to get across.
He's saying it was during the rally and I didn't hit the ball well.
He's saying he was playing a normal shot.
But he
really?
didn't mishit it. He hit it right in the middle of the racket.
I mean, it bounced off the side wall behind the court.
It didn't
10 meters,
shank. It was
50
not a
meters,
shank.
15 meters.
Kim, was it a shank?
No, no, it was not a shank.
See if we can hear what this is saying.
Now he of course wants to play tennis. Before he doesn't want, but now he wants. Okay, absolutely.
Well, there we are. That was Stefanos Tsitsipas complaining about the point penalty that's been given against him. The crowd are right behind Nick Kyrgios, and right now it is not the Aussie who's the bad boy. It is the fourth seed, and he's having to start this game at love 15 because of the way that he returned that underarm serve at the end of the previous game. Serve down the centre from Tsitsipas, then a swatting forehand cross-court. Now a go with the off forehand. On the run, backhand cross-court wide from Kyrgios.
15-0.
I just had an interesting idea. What if when your opponent gets a point penalty, that you could use it whenever you want, not necessarily on the very next
like
point.
that.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Like a bisque.
Right. It's like,
15
like a little
So you
joker
save it
that
for the
you
next
have.
set on break point.
Right.
Right?
I'll play it now.
Yeah, it's like a little joker you keep in your pocket.
Uh-huh.
Backhand return into the net. So from love 15 to 30-15
I like
for
it.
Tsitsipas.
Makes it more of a penalty, right?
Yeah.
Instead of the first point of the game, which kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah,
That is a
if it's
great
the
idea, I
last
think.
point of a game, it's much more important, isn't it? 30-15, 1-4 down, third set. Tsitsipas serves to the backhand, drive volley, puts it away.
That's
efficiently, the Greek.
Great swing volley there. I have a feeling we're not going to see anything but 110-mile-an-hour forehands from Tsitsipas.
Okay, so just explain to me, if he gets another warning, it's another
I don't
point?
know. Did they go for 3?
Then it's a game, isn't
They've
it?
switched it back to 4.
Is it?
Yeah.
Serve down the centre, backhand return creeps over the net. Tsitsipas is at the net, goes cross court. Now he can smack that away, and he smacked it long, and it was almost as though he smacked it at Kyrgios, and that's what the crowd think.
He did.
This is boiling over.
Kyrgios going to kick his ass in the locker room. No question.
That was out. I mean,
40-30.
how much can he get away with?
Well, I've never seen anything like this. 40-30. Tsitsipas serves down the centre, forehand returns long. There's the game.
Oh, was it 40-15 when he did that?
It was 40-15.
4-2. Oh.
And that's not unsportsmanlike.
Kyrgios leads 4.
Well, again, it was in the rally, wasn't it? That's the thing. But it was the easiest put away imaginable.
But now that's 4 times he's in ball abuse. It's like he should go to Ball Abuse Anonymous or something.
Backhand down the centre of the court. Backhand from Tsitsipas, and now into the net from the Greek. Kyrgios with the first point of the 7th game.
Oh my God, my heart rate is...
Woo! Kyrgios serves. and a backhand return, and Kyrgios now looping a forehand, and then will play a half volley lazily into the net from mid-court. Didn't move his feet.
Well, he needs to just come in and make Tsitsipas commit. He wouldn't have made a pass. He just didn't think something was going to happen there. That's where Nick needs to stay happy feet, not get distracted.
15 all, and now
oh boy,
guided backhand that will sit up for the backhand of Tsitsipas, who then moves to the forehand and nets. But I sense with Kyrgios that he has calmed himself. He knows that the other guy
he has
is
Tsitsipas
exploding.
right where he wants him to be.
And this will be the Kyrgios we saw so emphatic in the second round.
40-15.
Service winner down the centre. Just a little mutter to himself, a shake of the head, but ready to serve. Serves now, forehand return, and then picked up nicely on the forehand by Kyrgios. Kyrgios goes with the off forehand to the Tsitsipas backhand long. Long from the Greek. Easy hold of serve for the Aussie. Within a game now of a 2-1 lead against the fourth seed. 2 hours precisely, two tumultuous hours on number one court. It's Tsitsipas who's lost his head. It's Kyrgios who is looking the more focused.
Where's the towels? Where's the bananas? Where are they?
And now he's raging about where are the towels, where are the bananas, and the ball boy said, I'll get them, and they were right next to him on the cooler. So I was saying he'd calm down, but now he's having a go as well. This is extraordinary. I mean, can either of you, I mean, this is going back to the McEnroe days. This is going back to your days, Jeff. You know, we haven't seen this kind of behaviour on a tennis court sustained for this length of time.
Well, we saw
Wimbledon
it,
for
we
a long
saw
time,
it recently
haven't
in that movie, Borg McEnroe, where Connors and McEnroe, remember in that semifinal, they went after it. It kind of reminds me of that. But these two guys didn't come in with much love for each other.
True.
Yeah, and they're already on edge, and I think Nick kind of forgave Stefanos a
But
little bit.
who do you think in situations like this, when it's starting to boil over, and who can play the better tennis? Do you think Nick plays better tennis because he's used to it being more like this? Or, yeah, I think Tsitsipas is the one who needs to be able to kind of calm down a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think Tsitsipas got broken at the beginning of the set because he was still worried about the fact that he almost got defaulted. Like, he was still thinking about it.
And he's frustrated, right? Because he feels, like we heard him say during the last changeover, that Nick is getting away with too much.
Right.
Ace from Tsitsipas, 111 miles per hour, all about the direction there, wide out on the forehand side, serving to stay in the third set. 2-5 down, one break of serve. Kyrgios down there at the far end, the light starting to fade. Second serve is good, forehand return, backhand slice from Tsitsipas, driven by Kyrgios' cross-court, guided back, Kyrgios in at the net, plays a deep volley, then plays a reaction volley and steers it wide into the sidelines off the forehand.
Nick had to know that ball was coming at him. I mean, he needed to just hunker down and make that volley. That was a big volley to make it 15 all. Would have been a nice mental staple.
30 love.
He needs to
Long
expect
off the
every
top
ball.
of the net.
He needs to expect every ball coming at him during the point, after the point.
So do spectators.
Tsitsipas serves, a backhand return, and then lifted back on the backhand by Tsitsipas, low over the net by the driven backhand. Oh, what a forehand from Tsitsipas! Over the high part of the net, straight down the line, landing just inside the baseline.
40 low.
Superb.
That was just an amazing forehand down the line. Only the replay can do it justice.
40 love. Ace down the centre. Easy hold of serve. Still alive in the set for Stefanos Tsitsipas, the 23-year-old from Greece.
Kyrgios leads 5-3. Third set.
But now Nick Kyrgios with the chance to serve out for the set and take a 2-1 lead here in the third round at Wimbledon. Kyrgios serves down the centre ace. 129 miles per hour, right on the junction of centre line and service line. And his service action has just been sensational. And it is again, but a forehand return, then a forehand to the backhand, guided back by Tsitsipas. Now in comes Kyrgios and the... he drilled the ball at his opponent there, Tsitsipas. It was fended off on the racket, It scores, but again, it just showed the bad blood that is boiling on number 1 court right now. Kyrgios ready to serve. Serves down the centre, backhand return, sits up for Kyrgios to unleash the forehand, guided back by Tsitsipas. Kyrgios down the line, then the backhand slice, and another short ball off the top of the net, and the ball lands in for Kyrgios, who then makes big play of apologising, offering 2 hands. Sorry, mate.
Yeah,
sorry, mate.
That is the best sorry, I'm not sorry I've ever seen right there.
30-15, 5-3. Wow. 2 hours, 4 minutes. Serve into the net. Kyrgios takes the second ball from his pocket. Second serve. Huge point this. And a forehand return. Good depth on it from Tsitsipas, and a backpedaling forehand from Kyrgios, who then goes down the centre of the court with a miss hit. Now Tsitsipas is in at the net and watches the ball go wide off Kyrgios' racket. And now the pressure's on the 27-year-old from Canberra. He's been winning his service game so easily in this match, but now it's 30-all. Now it's the toughest game to win. Now is the time he'd like that point penalty.
Yes.
30-all. Serve down the centre, backhand return. He could have come in behind, it didn't. Took it on the bounce. Oh, and he's got the luckiest net ball, Kyrgios.
He's bowing.
And he's bowing.
The ball never lies, Ian. The ball never lies.
The ball landed on the tape. It had a look one way, then the other, and then said, yeah, I will drop over.
30.
And the pantomime villain, Kyrgios, then just bowed to the crowd. And he's not offered a single gesture of apology to his opponent, because that has brought up set point here for a 2-1 lead. Serve just wide.
The supervisor, the referee, all in that corner. Didn't their facial expressions haven't moved?
Second serve, good. Backhand return. Volley scores for Kyrgios. And Kyrgios jogs to his seat. Gives a little gesture to his opponent. 6-3. Kyrgios has taken one of the most extraordinary sets of tennis you will ever see anywhere.
6-3.
It has had absolutely everything. And Kyrgios leads by 2-1. Jeff Tarango.
I need a break.
Oh my God.
I mean, Kim, where's the refreshments?
My heart rate's too high for
This
a
is
late
great.
evening.
I mean, but the ball doesn't
great.
lie. He got 2 lead cords when, you could just be, you've done this before. Oh God, please give me a lead cord.
Yeah.
I need it right now. He got 2 of them.
Or a big thank you so much for that.
Kat, give us a breather.
I'm breathless myself. I feel like I have ringside seats at the boxing. It's just extraordinary, isn't it? And you get the feeling a bit that Stefanos Tsitsipas has fallen into Nick Kyrgios' trap here. And it's Kyrgios on the front foot. He's set this trap, and Kyrgios has walked straight into it. Anyway, let's get a piece of harmony and quiet. Everything's going to plan for Rafael Nadal on centre court. Jonathan Overend.
Yeah, I was thinking about what you said just then, Kat. I almost wonder whether it's actually the other way round. You know, it's almost like, Kyrgios, everyone knows he's the bad boy. He's somehow manipulated a situation where suddenly Stefanos Tsitsipas is the bad boy. And, you're doing pretty well if you become the bad boy in a Nick Kyrgios match and you're not Nick Kyrgios. But anyway, here on centre, 6-1, 6-2, 3-1 is the Nadal lead. It's very comfortable for Nadal. Lorenzo Sonego is complaining about something or other. Maybe it's the darkness. It is getting quite dark out here. Might not be too far away from needing the roof and the lights, but there's not too much left in the match either. Miles, need to get your view really on what you're seeing on the monitor here from court number 1. You're a coach on the tour, you're respected in the locker room, and you know a lot of these guys as well. Where do you stand on what we're seeing and listening to?
Boy, on which incident? I mean, it's clear that the hype started well before the match with Kyrgios, and it suited him a lot better. He's fired up for it, and he's playing some amazing tennis. But he always managed to paint himself as the victim. I think he gets away with all sorts. I think Tsitsipas is lucky to be out on the court from his first incident, but let's not forget, Kyrgios is, he's used plenty of bad language when at times. And, I think, Tsitsipas going for Kyrgios during the points, there's no issue in that at all.
Okay. Back to you, Kat, with Nadal leading 2-0 and a blow. We're slightly
you might
distracted.
have a point, Jonathan. You might have a point that Kyrgios, he loves to be the bad boy. Perhaps, though, he wants to be the hero on court one. And that's why he's engineered this situation where Stefanos Tsitsipas is playing the part of the villain. Alison Mitchell is in the commentary box now in position to bring you the fourth set. Best of luck, Alison. I don't know what's coming next. Maybe a full-blown fist fight.
We were all asked if we wanted a drink at the break. I'm not sure what the answer was, but someone needs to send a chamomile out there to court one. Tsitsipas, though, is in early trouble here. On serve, first game of this fourth set. And he is love 30 down already.
And we're very close to Nick Kyrgios, and he's very, very focused at the moment.
He's looking like the calm Kyrgios that dispatched of Krajinovic in the second round. But here is Tsitsipas serving, love 30. The pressure is on. His box have been stony-faced, the Tsitsipas box. Mark Philippoussis is up there. Tsitsipas serves into the body of Kyrgios. He fends it away on the forehand. Forehand now at the centre of the court. Tsitsipas is there heading with more venom there. Floater over the net from Kyrgios. And Tsitsipas is up to the net and Kyrgios cannot get there.
Was it in?
No, it was wide.
Wide. Oh, and now he's geeing up the crowd, Kyrgios. He was leaning forward over the photographer's trench, and there's a lad in the front row with a sheepskin jacket on, and he's responding to him with his fist clenched.
I thought he was going to give the lady that got hit a high five.
He was saying, we've got your back, Nick. And it is love 40. Backhand return from Kyrgios. Tsitsipas down the line. Chops it into the net, though, Kyrgios. Still got another couple of chances to break early, though, here.
15-40.
I know this would never happen at Wimbledon, but what would happen if, like in Australia, if this was happening? The crowd would storm the court.
It would be wild. Up the centre, attempted from Tsitsipas. It's been an extraordinary match on the grass of Wimbledon. Into the net with the return, the very top of the net from Kyrgios.
30-40.
I love the idea of him going for that forehand, but he's got to go cross court. He's got to say he went for one of those three break points, but that's got to go cross court, Kim. Yours would have gone cross court.
Still break point. Tsitsipas up the centre and misses. And it is getting a little gloomier on court one.
Your forehand at a slight different angle. Maybe you would have gone down the line.
A bird sweeps onto the court, and that has distracted Kyrgios. A little sparrow. Come for a look.
I mean, there's a...
Still break point. Tsitsipas. Backhand return from Kyrgios, and Tsitsipas winds up with a forehand. Forehand again going cross court. Tsitsipas. Forehand again, looks to go down the line. Doesn't hit it cleanly into the net from Kyrgios, though. He's missed a golden opportunity. And we're at deuce. He's berating himself, Jeff.
He cannot start chirping right now. He doesn't want to give Tsitsipas the idea that he's getting soft.
Yep. He's clawed his way back into this. Tsitsipas is at deuce. He's ready to serve, then paused. Steadies himself again now to serve up the middle.
Just long.
Second serve to come. Gentleman wearing that fluoro green jacket in the front row. He's just gleaming a little, which is telling me it's getting gloomy out there. He's really standing out. Oh, double faults, double faults. And Kyrgios has asked his box to get to their feet, which they have.
Bring a little more energy. He tried to feed off a little bit of energy before from the fan sitting on his left.
Another chance for Kyrgios to break early in this fourth set. Tsitsipas with the serve deep into the corner of the service box. Bok returning, he's taking it on the volley, and he's got a winner, Tsitsipas. And there is the fist clench from the Greek, the fourth seed.
Oh, there's nothing we could do about that. I mean, that was a great first serve, a pretty darn good return. It was going to be deep, and Tsitsipas really rolled the dice on that one. Hit a great swing volley from down low.
Incredible shots. We're back to deuce. And Tsitsipas serving up the centre. Now it's a forehand to Kyrgios, who chops with that forehand slice. It'll sit up here for Kyrgios. Backhand over the net. A Tsitsipas up to the net, and the volley is the winner. Kyrgios is down. He's slipped, has he? His racket's out of his hand. He's on his front.
I think he sprained his ankle.
He's struggling. He is flat out on his front.
Groin.
Oh, he's clutching his right hip.
It's over.
And he's still on the ground. He's in big trouble.
Yep.
Chair umpire has got out of his chair. The ball boy is just standing holding his racket, but Kyrgios is struggling to right himself. He's getting up to his knees, but he's leaning over in real pain. His head is bowed. What did he do? Was it a slip? Yes.
Yeah, he might be all right. He definitely hyperextended it a little bit. But he should take the time for the trainer.
Trainer is coming out onto court. Well, if there could... What further twists could there be in this match and further drama? He sent the trainer away.
Yep, Kyrgios said, I'm going to be okay. Just a little rub.
It's now game point Tsitsipas. Kyrgios is back on his feet, getting ready to receive.
He should have taken the
serve.
time.
It was like a little football, soccer, football.
Oh, he's had 4 break points.
And there's been a few yellow cards already.
Tsitsipas serving up the middle. Forehand return clips the net, and Tsitsipas is there with another forehand backhand from Kyrgios. Not really playing this. No, he's struggling, and that's gone wide. And Tsitsipas holds.
Tsitsipas.
He should take the trainer time.
First game, 4th set.
He's wandering to his chair.
Tsitsipas forgets to change sides.
Yeah, that's right. Opening game of the set. Tsitsipas is still at the far end of the court. So Kyrgios has wandered over to the cool box. He's just grabbing a bottle of water. The trainer is still sitting on the side of the court. But Kyrgios has got no interest in asking him to come forward. He's looking to battle on. We've had audible obscenities. We've had a warning for unsportsmanlike conduct. We've had a 1-point penalty. Not all of those to Kyrgios. In fact, I think it's 2-1 Tsitsipas. Yeah. But we're into a 4th set with Kyrgios, the world number 40, leading the 4th seed, 2-1. Nighttime, Saturday evening tennis in what is an increasingly gloomy court 1 because there's some quite heavy grey clouds overhead. The last thing this match needs, or maybe it is the thing this match needs for everyone to take a breather, is a pause for the roof to close over. We're ready to play again. Kyrgios serving up the centre, backhand block return from Tsitsipas, floats long.
I was curious to see if that little slip that he had there had any impact on his serve with the groin when you extend a little bit, but
still serving with all the power and venom that he does. Big forehand from Kyrgios, looking to find the line, and Tsitsipas has.
Yeah, he made it. He's hit that forehand cross court very well today.
Got a nice sharp angle on that ball. Pretty hard hit forehand by Kyrgios. Tells you what level these guys are playing.
Yeah.
Because I feed the ball as soft as I can to my students. Go, come on, let's get that angle going.
Here is Kyrgios at 15 all at the centre with the serve. The backhand return from Tsitsipas, and now he's stretching and the ball just dribbles off his racket face into the ground.
Don't worry, in 3 years you'll have confidence to hit that in a match. 13. And he's taking the 100-mile-an-hour forehand and just ripping it over there.
Stays on top of the baseline.
Kyrgios taking his time here, which is rare. Usually he's cracking straight on with his serve, wasting very little seconds between them, between points. Here is his second serve, the forehand of Tsitsipas. Kyrgios with the double-fisted backhand, placing it over the net, down the line once more, but wide this time from Tsitsipas.
13. And I have to say, I think when Nick came out of COVID, I think he struggled a little bit with his fitness early on, right? But he looks a lot fitter.
Game point, casual as you like from Kyrgios here with the slice backhand drop shot. Tsitsipas up to the net. Where does Kyrgios go? It's not good enough with the lob. Smashed put away by Tsitsipas. Firmly into the ground this time before it sails off into the lower reaches of the crowd.
But he did try to get it. He did try to get it up into the crowd, and that's what was kind of irking me a little bit.
Yeah. There's a Greek flag being held aloft, the opposite end of the court to where Tsitsipas is. That would be right in his eye line, that support. Game point, Kyrgios still 40-30. Mutterings from the back of the court. Second serve.
Second service.
All right, who gets some more time to talk? Here it comes again. That's not, it's why at the beginning
It has to
of the
be
set.
so hard to like just kind of regroup when you have to serve.
Up the centre, forehand return from Tsitsipas goes well long.
Kyrgios.
And it is the hold, and we are level at 1 game apiece in this fourth set.
Balls, please.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Nick is not like you and me, where you just
No,
need a
yeah,
little
of course.
quiet time before that serve is hit, right? Just think about the court, what your first 3 shots are. I mean, if you read Rod Laver's book, he says he's planning 12 shots while he's bouncing the ball. And Kyrgios is having a dialogue with his girlfriend.
Well, new balls are being brought out, and Tsitsipas is taking the opportunity to get a fresh racket. And Kyrgios is down at the far end,
and this is
adjusting
where
his shorts.
I don't see the clock. Where's the clock?
Straight ahead.
2 hours 19, and we're 20 past 8 in the evening.
No, not that
really.
clock. I'm not talking Rolex.
Shot clock?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I think they turned it off for Tsitsipas.
He gets a Tsitsipas.
Here it is. It's the bottom of the scoreboard.
Oh,
20
I guess he
seconds
gets.
to serve.
They just started it when he got to the line. Yeah.
Tsitsipas then 1 game apiece. A fourth set with Kyrgios leading 2-1. Tsitsipas up to the net now, and Kyrgios really barely moved. He's leant down, got his racket to it, but it plopped into the bottom of the net. And this match is going to have repercussions, though, isn't it? One way or other, because of the controversies around the demands for Tsitsipas to be defaulted, the idea of having television replays for decisions like that on controversial incidents.
Yeah, the referee should have made a decision way back over there, about a quarter mile away, before he came to the court, and the supervisor should not have made a decision until he came.
Well, that was a forehand hit in anger by Kyrgios. Didn't do him any favours.
After Nick and Stefanos do their press conference, maybe the referee might have to do a little press conference too.
They might. You're absolutely right.
Give some explanation about why that wasn't a default.
And we hear from officials so rarely in many sports, don't we? And yet this is the time when you really want to understand what was the rationale for the decision being made in the way that it was. Well, there might well be a paper statement. Here is Tsitsipas looking to serve up the centre.
This is just a game where Nick is taking a mental break. He needs just to take the pedal off the metal for a second.
It's game point here, and Tsitsipas with the forehand is brought mid-court now with a gentle backhand drop shot to win and win the game. So we remain with serve 2-1, Tsitsipas. And maybe Cat Downs, everyone is just going to take a little breather. Kyrgios certainly is as he sits down at the change of ends.
And whichever side of this controversy that you're on, if you're Team Tsitsipas or Team Kyrgios, we're all sharing quite an experience here on court number 1 this evening. I wonder if the centre court crowd are half hoping, Jonathan Overend, they're wishing that they could have been over on court 1 where things were a little bit spicy.
Maybe, but we've got our own dose of controversy here with Nadal leading 4-2 in the third set, 2 games away from victory. They've decided to close the roof. Cedric Mourier is the supervisor on centre court. Lorenzo Sonego has been complaining for the last 15 minutes or so that the roof should be closed. They've now decided to do it with potentially only 2 games left in the match. Nadal is not happy.
Close the roof.
There's the announcement.
To get the light to continue the match.
The crowd are happy, as you can hear, but Nadal is not happy. Miles McLagan, the right decision?
I guess they know how quickly it's going to get dark, and you don't want to leave it too long. Nadal wasn't completely happy. I think he thinks he's going to get it done within sort of 3 games or so. And, well, it did get a good cheer, something for the crowd, that little bit of experience. You did Wimbledon with the roof closed.
Well, he's still playing really well, Nadal. Just a few games in this set which have been tighter than in the previous 2 sets, but it's a huge way back for Lorenzo Sonego, trailing as he does 6-1, 6-2, 4-2 here on centre court. Break in play because the roof will be closed.
And on the TV coverage, they're just showing a big wide shot of the All England club, and it looks still fairly bright out there, plenty of light in the sky, but it's definitely gloomy here on court 1, possibly the dark mood that has descended over Nick Kyrgios and Stefanos Tsitsipas. I don't think there's any chance of these two going for a pint at the Dog and Fox in Wimbledon Village after this. Let's get back down to the commentary box and join Alison Mitchell, Kim Clijsters and Jeff Tarango again.
Yeah, early stages of this 4th set. Kyrgios leads 2-1 in a really tumultuous couple of hours of tennis. We're getting near the 2.5-hour mark now, and we're with serve in the 4th set as Kyrgios is up to the net and places a forehand winner on the sideline with real control.
I think the Dog and Fox have to add some security to the place if they decide to go for a drink.
That's a good point, Kim. And Jonathan, you need to escalate this idea that Kim just had. She had this great idea of having one of those photographer light meters on the court down here, like kind of where the back of the court mic is or the referee or whatever, so that it's an automatic bzzz, and that's it for the light.
It takes the subjectivity out of it, doesn't it?
Exactly. So that you could say to the guy who's far-sighted and the guy that's near-sighted or whatever that this is when it happens.
I mean, it's
a great idea, Kim.
Yeah, but it's strange that Nadal is up 2 sets to love, 4-2 up. You know, that they're deciding to close the roof, whereas he's, so much closer to finishing.
You don't think they're using the Hollywood captivate the audience play, do you? You don't think they're doing that? No way.
Second serve here on...
But don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder at what stage they're going to do it.
I love your idea.
Well, I was on this court the other 2 nights ago when centre court roof closed, and this court one carried on without the roof, without the lights. That's the game for Kyrgios. Holding to 30 and levelling things at 2 games apiece. I find it quite surprising that there isn't a set light meter. In cricket, you would find the umpires have their light meters and they'll place it in the centre of the field and be able to explain it's their call when we don't think the light is right. We go off and they've got a benchmark.
Are you saying this isn't cricket?
It's just not cricket. It certainly hasn't been out here tonight. Kyrgios now with a forehand from down by the baseline. Up the line for the winner, the love 15 on the Tsitsipas serve.
Well, we have throughout the year, we have the temperature, the thermometer and the humidity.
Right.
The what do you call that?
Hygrometer for humidity.
Hygrometer, yes, that's what it's called.
And
the barometer is for rain, no?
Humidity.
Is it?
Barometer is pressure.
Pressure.
A rain gauge is for rain. There's one just outside the commentary box.
Well, that's what I mean. So
and the shot clock, you've got the shot clock.
Yeah. So they do measure it for, temperature, humidity.
Referee's phone's ringing.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
That should be a let, shouldn't it?
Well, Kyrgios is shaking his head. We certainly heard that.
Shouldn't that be a let?
For once, he didn't seem bothered by the interruption.
Maybe we heard it louder than it was.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a lot of noise out there. And I'm going to say it again now. It's been an hour and a half since anyone's left their seat.
Yep, it's 15-all on the Tsitsipas serve here.
Yeah,
and he misses the first serve.
People don't want to miss a point.
It was a real rush to get to the toilet and back again at the change of ends.
You couldn't make it.
Tsitsipas serving to the forehand, who's gone long. Kyrgios on the return.
Yeah, you see, that's just loss of focus right there. There's no way he should make that unforced error, and he knows it. That's why he's upset. He's not upset at his girlfriend up there in the... What kind of jacket is that? It's very fluffy.
Which the girlfriend is wearing.
Yes.
I'm not sure. You've got better eyesight than I have.
Yeah, seriously.
Very fluffy.
It's as fluffy as Kim's tennis ball bag.
Oh,
which
from the
hasn't
other
got
day.
with her today.
Yeah, no, not today.
30-15, Tsitsipas serving deep into the service box, returning to the net from Kyrgios, and he's berating himself, a flick of that tattooed arm of his. And it's 40-15.
I got one of those for my wife, actually, Kim. That's why I know what it is. It's like this really white, like, foo-foo.
Well, like it cools off at night.
Yeah.
Game point. There'll be a second serve. It is.
Actually, I think she got it for herself and then just said it was a gift from me, kind of thing.
Well, that's the way to do it.
Game point then. Forehand return is horribly hit by Kyrgios, and it is the game. That is Kyrgios roaring in the direction of his box as he takes his seat. Change of ends here. Kat.
Happened in the first set, and you didn't change anything.
2 sets.
And it is with serve. 3-2, Tsitsipas. Kat.
It's all rather unseemly out there, isn't it?
I wanted to ask.
I wanted to ask Kim and Jeff, what happens when you walk off court at Wimbledon? Are you obviously the winner stays on to do the end of match interview with the broadcasters. Do you actually cross paths in the locker room? Will these guys be having to, share the showers later? What's it like in there, and how much contact are they going to get after this match?
Well, they're not going to be in the same shower together, but they're going to be, definitely in the same locker room. And I assume they're both in the members' locker room upstairs, right?
No,
or
I
Nick
don't
is
assume
not?
that Kyrgios
No?
is in the members' locker room.
Okay.
What do you mean? I can't get in there. What makes you think Nick can get in there?
I don't know.
Okay, that's being very cute, though. I like
Okay,
that.
all right. Well, no, they're not in the same locker room. So that
I think
will,
that's probably for the best, isn't it?
in this situation, yes, it is.
I think
But they're
whoever-
going to cross paths, I think, is your point. And I have a feeling they're going to cross paths during this match. I really feel like I've seen a lot of matches in my time where I've thought something was going to break out. And this is the farthest I've ever seen
And it
it.
was doubles, wasn't it, at the Australian Open, where there was a contretemps between the Kyrgios and Kokkinakis pairing. I can't recall who it was they were playing, but it was caught on one of the sort of security or television spy
in the
cameras
hallways,
in the
yes,
hallways.
that's right.
And got replayed all over
And
social
they played
media.
each other in one of the lead-up tournaments too, right?
I think that might have
A
been
few
right.
weeks ago.
Cool.
It is. 2-3 then, Kyrgios serving. We're with serve. No breaks yet in this fourth set, but still plenty of ranting. Kyrgios now up to the nets, looking to pass, and Tsitsipas can't. He finds the nets.
Well, he's definitely asked his team to be a little bit more animated.
I have to confess that played Leander Paes in doubles at the U.S. Open. He must have hit me 45 times.
Yeah.
And so we went into the locker room, and we're both going into different showers, as you rightly
Trying to
pointed
avoid
out.
each other.
And I kind of went over to his shower and opened the curtain. I said, if you want to hit me again, right now is your chance. He's like, I don't want to hit
Without
you.
any clothes on?
Yeah. And that was the end of the discussion because he was like, no, I don't want to hit you. I was like, okay, I just wanted to make sure because like you hit me 45 times. I was wondering if it's like a personal thing. Like, go ahead, take a hit at me. You get it off your chest, you know.
With doubles, there is much more chance of being hit across a tennis court by a flying ball, isn't there? Here is Kyrgios with that double-handed backhand as Tsitsipas floats one cross-court back over the net. Now he lets rip down the line, and it's Kyrgios now finding the net. And again, a shake of his head as he turns to take balls, get ready to serve again. And he's been chuntering throughout. Tsitsipas suddenly just feels like he's maybe the calmer right now, but we thought that right before he sent a ball flying into the crowd. That came out of nowhere at the end of the second set. Here is Kyrgios up to the net, a little dink drop shot. Stefanos is there. Tsitsipas a little put away from Kyrgios at the net. Didn't even need to put any force into it. Just played it into the open court.
You notice Tsitsipas didn't break right back into the court on that sitter. He broke left. It's behind here.
Kyrgios with the serve, backhand return flies up. There's a put away, but Tsitsipas is there at the net. Kyrgios with the volley, and he's passed now by Tsitsipas.
Two sitters.
Tremendous pass.
Two sitters by Kyrgios in that one point, and he missed. And that's really, that could be a big point in this match.
Oh, big moment, as it's back to 30 all now. Kyrgios steadies to serve again. Tsitsipas with a block backhand return. And
Did you
it's
hear
a
what he said?
compliment
Yeah.
from Kyrgios, was it?
Good return. It was sarcastic compliment. I mean, I know he loves his NBA and he's doing a little bit of trash talking.
He does love his basketball,
When I
doesn't
play
he?
tennis with my husband, that's what it sounds like too.
Well, and then he closes it out with an ace up the middle, as he does so many times. 120 miles an hour, hits the spot, and it's 3 games each. And on we go. Well, I think isn't it almost fortunate that it's not basketball season anymore in the States, Jeff, is it? It's the Boston Celtics that he supports as he gets in an awful mood if they lose.
Yep.
Yeah, he switched from the Lakers to the Celtics, so.
Well, he's been a Celtics fan for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's wearing almost a basketball vest, isn't he?
Right,
He's got the
and
sort
the
of
undershirt.
skins T-shirts to give him the sleeves, but then he's got a white tennis vest on. A double fault from Tsitsipas.
Yeah, it looks like a jersey, right? Like a basketball jersey.
It does.
Well, Tsitsipas, let's put it this way. Kyrgios is under his skin. He has definitely gotten into his kitchen. Nick has gotten into his kitchen.
Oh,
He's
he's
in there
bravely started
scrambling
cooking
some
breakfast.
eggs. Yeah, maybe got some bacon on.
Tsitsipas at love at 15 up the centre. Misses.
Ricochets off the linesperson's head.
No blame for that. And Tsitsipas serves again into the net, though. Double fault back to back. What's brewing?
Love 30.
Crucial stage of this fourth set. 3 games each. Love 30 on the Tsitsipas serve. Kyrgios leading 2-1.
Now this comes down to chess, Kim. Can Kyrgios keep it together for 2 out of the next 4 points to break?
Right.
Can he hit the right shots at the right times? Because he's going to get, now you know you're getting an opportunity where you're up.
Right, we
30
see him
low.
jumping around a little bit, so he knows this is a very, very big moment.
Big serve up the centre from Tsitsipas. He's pulled one out of the bag just when he needed it most.
Right.
15-30.
The pressure is on Tsitsipas here. He has to come up with some great shots.
Kyrgios twizzles his racket, waits to receive, does so on the backhand. Here comes Tsitsipas up to the net. Kyrgios looking to pass, and he does! Up the line! Clench of the fist, and his boxer on their feet. And Kyrgios has 2 break points for 4-3 in the fourth set.
Jeez, that was one of those like Michael Chang passing shots where the ball bends outside the court and comes back in.
Doesn't Rafa call it the banana ball or
Does
something?
he?
Yeah. Like scoops outside into the tram
so you
lines.
can't get it when you're at the net.
No.
It just goes around your racket.
The only thing you can do is hope that it goes out.
Break points, huge pressure on the 4th seed here. French Open finalist in 2021, that huge match against Novak Djokovic. Here he is now serving to Kyrgios, who has break point, but he can't return on the forehand.
Kyrgios is showing the call on the right service line. The ball was called in.
That was just to give Tsitsipas time to relax.
Just a little.
He wants to keep him like, oh, we maybe can play it again, buddy.
This is gameplay from Kyrgios. Comfortably in. Comfortably.
30-40.
I think you should lose 2 challenges if it's a foot in.
Sounds like there's a comedian on the court or something.
Still break point though. Here is Tsitsipas looking to go down the line. He's at the net now, and the volley is a winner. Tsitsipas at the net with a forehand volley into the open court because Kyrgios had been pushed wide.
And it is starting to get a lot darker, right? This game, I feel like.
I mean, I'm going to break into song here pretty soon.
What are you going for?
It's Saturday night. I guess it's all right.
Juice.
What have I got to lose?
Ace. And game point, Tsitsipas. I thought you were going to give us a bit of Wickfield, Jeff. Saturday night, and I like the way you move. Game point. 3-all, advantage Tsitsipas. Court number 1 at Wimbledon down the centre, and the return goes long. And now it's the Greek who's clenching his fist. He's held on, facing break points. Missed opportunities for Kyrgios, who looks up at the sky and roars with anguish. And then a look over his right shoulder towards his box. No more shouting for him just yet, though. Oh, hang on, there might be. Let's go back to Jonathan Overend for an update on Nadal at centre.
Just very quickly to say we're playing under the roof here. It all happens very quickly these days with the new technology. Rafa, in fact, stayed out there on the court during the break and now leads by 4-3 in this third set with a breaker serve, leading by 2-0.
Well, what happens from here? Is Kyrgios going to be able to close this out in 4, or are we going to be on for a 5-setter? Kyrgios has never lost a 5-set match at Wimbledon. Wow. You can guess what the crowd want here. They got the big bucket of popcorn. They went for the family size and settled in.
You're going to have to refill it, I think.
Would you say never 2 more times so you can jinx that for me?
Never lost a 5-setter.
Oh, say it one more time. Say it one more time. Come on, you can say it.
He's sitting down having a big glug of water. Just seeing if the trainer exited the court. The trainer is long gone. It feels like a long time ago that Kyrgios was flat on his front, clutching at his groin. It feels like even longer ago that he was warned for an audible obscenity, and then Tsitsipas was warned for unsportsmanlike conduct for smashing a ball into a spectator when he lost the second set and the match was levelled at 1 set each. And then when Tsitsipas was given a 1-point penalty after he smashed an underarm serve from Kyrgios out of the court. Right. So, what now? With serve, Kyrgios serving, trailing 4-3.
Second service.
Here's the serve to the backhand of Tsitsipas, who's up on his toes. Forehand looking to pass Kyrgios, who's at the net, and he's volleying. Volley over the top of Kyrgios, it's good. Kyrgios chasing it back, between the legs, but it's going to be out. Well, the crowd are cheering and some on their feet for Tsitsipas here.
I mean, it almost feels like this match needs to go a 5th set, right?
That's what I'm
the way
saying.
everything has been going so far.
Dig in, Kim. You're gonna have more. What kind of tea is this?
I don't know. It's
very
definitely
nice.
not green tea.
They got rooibos up you there.
Rooibos, yeah.
It's love at 15 on the Kyrgios serve. Up the centre he goes. Forehand return from Tsitsipas, who's pushed over to the forehand.
Wow.
Winning cross-court winner, but the chair umpire is
Stefanos Tsitsipas is showing the call
overruling.
on the left near sideline. The ball was called out.
So called out, umpire says in. Tsitsipas says, I want to have a look.
Right, I think from the moment it left Tsitsipas's racket, he felt like he had the winner. Ooh.
Oh,
No
and he
way.
does! It's clipped the line!
Wow, and the chair umpire.
Well, that's got some applause from Kyrgios and a thumbs up towards Tsitsipas. He's serving onto the sideline. Kyrgios wasting no time, then into the net, and now he is sarcastically clapping because that's the heel of his hand on the strings of his racket. Not sure who he's directing that to.
His box.
To his box.
He's really
Yeah.
upset at them. I don't know what's his problem.
Well, he's love 40 and he's getting on with the serve, not even bothering to wait for the crowd. Again, clapping and pointing up to his box. Break points down here. Tsitsipas with the backhand return. And then a winner from Kyrgios. When he looks the most agitated, he then plays the most nonchalant winning forehand.
I wonder if he would be doing this if he would be in the fifth set at this stage, right?
Still break points down here though. Looks for an ace and Tsitsipas cannot return it.
No, we saw the chalk come up.
He's powering his way back into this service game. Extraordinary
Tsitsipas
fashion.
And now
walking back.
Tsitsipas is taking extra time going to the towel.
That is sensible.
Icing him a little bit.
Make Kyrgios wait. 30-40 on the Kyrgios serve.
First service.
Oh,
Oh, Kyrgios has got to serve again.
Well, he'd rather.
where would you serve this one?
Gosh, it's tough. I think you go to the forehand.
Let's see Kyrgios under the pump still at 30-40. Oh, he goes deep into the service box corner. Brilliant. Ricochets off the racket of Tsitsipas into the ground. And he's clawed it back to Juice. You have to admire him. Up against it. Juice here. Jonathan Overend, what with you? Have you got Jonathan on centre?
Well, drama here on centre court. I've never seen Rafa Nadal like this. The score, first of all, 4 games all, third set. Suddenly the match is alive. Nadal has been broken back to love. Sonego's played an amazing game. He's winding up the crowd. And then at the end of the game, what's happened is Nadal has walked straight up to the net, almost as if he's about to retire the match and shake hands. He wants a word with Sonego. He beckons to him. He brings Sonego up to the net. They have a conversation. This is mid-match. Miles McLagan, what is Nadal's problem?
Well, initially I thought maybe he thought the court was a bit greasy, but I think from what we gather from the umpires, Nadal just flashes an amazing backhand return cross-court past the incoming serve volleying Italian. And I think he said to him, listen, your grunt is extended so long after the hit, it's disturbing me. And, well, I mean, you don't sort of... It's an interesting timing,
So
isn't
the
it?
umpire then called Sonego and told him that and said, you've got to stop grunting, you know, long after you've hit the ball. But amazing to see Nadal actually call the player over for a chat before reporting it to the umpire. So it's all going off at Wimbledon on this Saturday night. 4 games all, third set, Nadal leading 2-0.
Are you sure he wasn't asking for wiring instructions?
Saturday Night Fever. I tell you what is happening at Wimbledon tonight. We've got a pause in play here because at that incredible hold of serve by Kyrgios coming from love 40 down, on walks the tournament referee, and then the umpire announces that the roof is being closed and the lights will come on. Neither player has left the court. It's given those in the crowd a chance to stand up, stretch their legs, take some photographs of these two players that have just served up an incredible mix of toxicity at times, incredible shots at times, ugly scenes at times, but scintillating for the crowd here to be watching. And it's locked at 4-all in the 4th set with Kyrgios leading 2-1. Is that sort of almost the best time you could have chosen to bring the roof over at 4-all?
The fairest, right? At this stage?
Yeah, it's the right time. I mean, they should have done it earlier. It's dark, but you know, neither player is complaining.
No.
I think they did it at the right time.
Well, you don't want it to be
Smooth and
5-all,
fast.
6-all, and then having to decide right where it gets too dark and it influences you know, the play.
And when we
but
get
it's funny to see when you watch, what we can see when you watch both players is Tsitsipas is sitting there. He put his jacket on, he put a towel over his back, and Nick is just sitting there with the same outfit, nothing, doesn't need to keep warm.
He's motionless right now, in fact, staring ahead, taking your drink.
These guys have stretched in every direction they need to stretch. I mean, they're warm.
In many, many ways, yes. Right, well, Kat, situation here then. The roof is slowly crawling across court number 1, and we're locked at 4 games all in the 4th set with Kyrgios leading 2-1, but that only tells a fraction of the story that we've had tonight.
You could write an epic about it, couldn't you, Ali? Yeah, well, the good news is from centre court that the roof only took just over 12 minutes to close, and they're back underway, but it's a